الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. First of all, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pass salutation upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is a journey of your lifetime. And the person, when he has a journey of a lifetime, he would try to maximize his effort in order to make sure that he will get as much as he can from the rewards of the Hajj. Let's just see, inshallah, what we're going to be planning. Number one, we're going to be talking about introduction, excellence of Hajj. I have to be with you. And the importance of the Hajj. And then we're going to be talking about preparation for the Hajj and when is the Hajj time. And we're going to be talking about the types of Hajj. And then also we're going to be talking about the geographical places of the Hajj. We're going to be talking about the journey itself. Don't worry, this is just the titles. I'm going to be talking about Umrah, because part of the Hajj, step by step. And then after that, to stay to wait for the day of the Hajj. So Hajj step by step. And we're going to be talking about each day, what we're going to be doing, 8th, 9th, 10th. Don't worry, I'm going to go a bit faster here. But those are the things that are going to be dealt with, inshallah, in this workshop. And then the last thing we're going to be last day, which is Tawaf-ul-Wada. After that, we're going to be talking about some recap. And we're going to talk about also visiting the Medina, which is not part of the Hajj. But you need to know the etiquettes of Medina in order to perfect, as I said, your rewards. We don't want yawning sound really loud, because we have just started, by the way. But let's just solve for the excellence of the Hajj. So many hadiths. I just picked up for you, I think I picked up for you 2. And I will just pause with these 2. Okay, I haven't done, subhanallah, this is number 1 or number 2? Okay, I've done a modified one, but I don't know what happened to it. Okay, never mind. So I'm going to go to which one I want to do. Right. I have to stop the sharing because I can't do anything with the sharing here. Ya Ikhwani, in the Zoom, I can't do the sharing because it's just... no, it's not working. Yep. Right, this is the one I'm going to be talking about. This is a hadith of... shows you all the reward that you're going to get when you do the Hajj. There's 2 people came to the Prophet ﷺ, asked him about something. The Prophet ﷺ told him, shall I tell you what you came to ask about, or shall you go ahead and ask me? Messenger of Allah, you go ahead and tell us what we came to ask about. So this is Prophet of Allah being told by revelation what these 2 guys are going to be asking him about. One of them, he was asking about the following, and that is what you're going to have a reward every time you do something. I'm going to just put this like this because my neck is... So what would you do every time that you do something in the Hajj? What reward are you going to take? So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, well, if you come out from your house heading towards the Masjid al-Haram, every stride that your she-camel does, stride towards the Haram, then Allah Azza wa Jal will elevate him and also will give him a hasana for each stride and remove a sin. So now, of course, you're not going to go to she-camels, are you? You're going to go by planes. But don't worry about that. That's going to be calculated. But it shows you amount of reward, ya Ikhwani. Okay? The amount of reward. And he said, as for your 2 rak'ah after the tawaf, it will be like salvation, or sorry, I would say setting free a person who is a slave from the son of Ismail. Son of Ismail means expensive slave. As for your tawaf between Safa and Marwa, and it's called tawaf as well, and as well called sa'i, then it's like setting free 70 slaves. As for you standing up on the day of Arafah, Allah Azza wa Jal will descend down a descendants which is suitable to His Majesty to the nearest heaven, and He will be boasting about His slaves before His angels. He would say, those are my slaves, they came to me with head disheveled, I mean the hair is not combed, from everywhere, hoping for my Jannah, for my paradise, even if their sins is to be as many as the particles of the sand, or as many as the drops of the rain, or as much as the froth of the sea, I would have forgiven for them. Go ahead, my slaves, you have been forgiven. That's the day of Arafah. And also, not for you as well, you've been forgiven, and for whom you have interceded for. As for your throwing the stones, for each stone that you throw, a major sin will be removed. And as for your slaughtering, because you're going to be doing your hadi, then it's going to be saved for you with your Lord. You're going to have a special thing saved for you because of that slaughtering. And as for your shaving your head, for every single hair that you shave, there's a hasana, and there will be a sin removed. If you're bald, don't worry as well. Allah will give you. It's nothing to do, oh, I'm bald here. As for your making tawaf around the house, which is tawaf al-ifada, for when you make the tawaf, there will be no sin upon you. An angel will come. He will put his hands between his shoulders. You're not going to feel the angels. But this is what the Prophet said. That means that this soul of yours is going to connect to this angel, and he will say to you, go ahead, for verily everything's being wiped off. So you're starting from now. It's like your meter had been resetted from 0, 0. That's why the Prophet said, he who had done Hajj, which has got no quarreling, dispute and all of that, then he will come back home just like he's been newly born. Everything's been wiped off. Right, let's go now. The goal is the Hajj al-Mabrur. Hajj Mabrur is acceptable Hajj. Hajj performing with seeking the pleasure of Allah. Means you're not seeking to come with a title Haji. Some of the people, they just go, Haji Akhi. I am not a, you can't call me by my name. So he's after the stamp. If you're after the stamp, you're going to get nothing. You want the pleasure of Allah. Also a Hajj which is performed according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. You can't do your Hajj of your own. That's why you're sitting down to learn. What did the Prophet of Allah say regarding this? How can I do that? And I'm telling you what you are doing now to gain the knowledge, you'll find yourself on top of those people who are ignorant. You'll feel what the knowledge does to you. It gives you pride because you're knowledgeable. And those people who go to the Hajj, I'm sorry to say more than 80%, not to say maybe 90%, are ignorant. You are from the few percentage who are learned. Even you don't know how to read Fatiha, but you have learned to do better than those one who even recite the Quran all the time, because he didn't learn how to do the Hajj properly. Fine. Hajj which is performed with halal money. You don't want to have haram money. Gambling, you've got a liquor shop selling alcohol. No, it's haram. Also, it's a Hajj which includes some righteous deeds, such as providing food and spreading good words. All of that will be rewarded. Fine. Let's go now to the importance issues of Hajj. Now, importance of Hajj, I'm just going to give elaboration about what is the Hajj importance. It is the 5th pillar. And Hajj and Umrah both are obligatory once in your lifetime. It's not like Salah 5 daily times. It's not like Ramadan every year. Only once obligatory. So if you did Hajj, Tamattu', we're going to explain what is Tamattu', or Hajj Qiran, I'm going to explain what's Qiran. Both include Umrah. If you did Hajj Ifrad on his own, then still upon you to do the Umrah. So once in your lifetime. Hajj was made obligatory on the year 10th after Hijrah. Was made obligatory the year 10th of. What's so special about this? The specialty about this is that the scholars who said that the Hajj is not obligatory once you have everything ready. No, you could leave it because the Prophet ﷺ did not do Hajj until the last year before he died. Well, to encounter that argument, we say, well, the Hajj was not made obligatory until the 10th year, and that's why the Prophet ﷺ made the Hajj. Which means Hajj becomes compulsory once those conditions are fulfilled. So once you have the conditions fulfilled, then you have to go to do Hajj. You can't delay it. So delaying the Hajj is not permissible. So let's see the Hajj upon whom is compulsory. What are these conditions? Number one, Muslim. Number two, he's sane. See, for a person who's a non-Muslim, it cannot be accepted. So valid Hajj and Umrah has to fulfill condition 1 and 2. You have to be sane. So if you have insanity, which is mental disability, and you did Hajj with your father, and then you became sane, you became mashallah all right, you have to do the Hajj again because your Hajj was invalid. You did the Hajj while you are non-Muslims, just went there to see, for tourism. Once you become a Muslim, Hajj becomes compulsory. Hajj has to be for adult and free, but the difference here, the non-adult, he will be rewarded. The free, if he's not free, a slave, he will be rewarded. So sufficing Hajj Umrah has to fulfill condition 1 to 4. Sufficing, that means it's going to be accepted. So if you're going to be non-adult child, you will be rewarded. You counter that right angel on your right shoulder, he writes from you from the beginning. The one who's on the left to write your sins, he will not start writing until you reached your puberty. That's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why if you've been raised in a nice house of people who are mashallah religious, you're going to get rewarded already before you start the Hajj. Siraj, you're going Hajj inshallah? Well done. With your wife on your own? Well done. She's here? Good. But also from the conditions is that, which is important to everybody, that's capability. Capability is the health and the safety, transport, provision, no legitimate excuse for not going. So like imprisonment, there's a tyrant leader, if he sees you out, he'll take you. Can you give me an example, very good example of that? A person cannot go to do Hajj these days because of a tyrant leader? Zakir Naik. He can't, because he's going to be captured straight away. See? So if he hasn't done Hajj before, it's not compulsory upon him to do the Hajj. So if these conditions are there, number 6, husband or mahram in the case of a woman. Women, she cannot go without a mahram. Mahram means a male relative who cannot marry her permanently, like a father, like a brother, like a son. Okay? Or husband. If she hasn't got those, she's not obliged, she's not obligated. It's not compulsory upon her to do the Hajj. Also, from the importance issues of the Hajj, it is highly recommended for the woman, that is, to seek her wali, her husband's permission. Let's say she has everything. All these conditions are with her, and she has a mahram, maybe her brother. She wants to go with her brother. So, and it's her Hajj for her lifetime. So, we say that she must do Hajj, but at the same time, it is recommended for her to seek permission from her husband. If her husband doesn't allow her, she can go without his approval. Okay? But I don't know if she's going to end up divorced after this. She can go, and I didn't say she should. Why? If she thinks they're going to jeopardize her marriage, if she come back, that she could postpone it for another year. Women must seek, perform voluntary Hajj. So if it's a voluntary Hajj, she has to have the approval of her husband. Not like the obligatory Hajj. Voluntary means she's done Hajj before, she's doing a second Hajj, then her husband has to accept. If she's making it without mahram, let's say she went on her own, like so many women who go on their own these days. Her Hajj is valid, but she'll be sinned. Is she going there to get rewards, or to be sinned? To get rewards. But actually she's going to be sinned. It's a major sin to go without a mahram. A woman on her menses, because they have this issue, then they do everything pilgrims does, except for tawaf and sa'i, which is tawaf between Safa and Marwa, and prayer. They don't pray, they don't tawaf, but they do go to Arafah, they declare the state of Ihram, labbaik Allahumma bi Umrah, everything. طيب. Also important Hajj for the Umrah. First, the child. The Hajj of a child is treated as an adult in terms of fulfilling obligations and avoiding prohibitions. So let's say as a child 6 years old, and he's a male, he has to put the ihram clothes. He's a child of 2 years old, he puts his ihram clothes, but he maybe put what? A nappy. No problem. You're not allowed to put a nappy. You're not allowed to, as an adult, to put an underwear. Okay, when you're sitting with ihram. But the child, he's allowed for that. But he has to put. Now, also, if the child is old enough, he can distinguish, then he should be taught to make the Hajj rituals himself. To say the words. He's 6 years old, 5 years old, he will be able. Otherwise, if he can't, he's smaller, younger, he can't do it, his father, his mother, she will do the words on him. Labbaik Allahumma umrah for my son or for my daughter. There will be neither a sin nor a penalty incurred if the child left an obligation or committed a prohibition. Like us, it's not like the adult. So if he has done something, let's say he took his ihram clothes. This would he put underwear. We don't treat him like an adult. The adults will penalize him. We'll see what is the penalty. Let's say the person has got enough money. What's wrong here? Yes. Person just got enough money to do either his obligatory Hajj or marriage. Prioritization go to the specific need. Is he in desperate of marriage? Then we'll go for the marriage. Let him give the money for the marriage. If he's not desperate for the marriage, he's mashallah can hold himself, then Hajj comes as a priority. Okay? Right. Now let's prepare for the Hajj. Sincerity, okay, preparing your Hajj is very important, to be sincere. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, that is, your deeds are based upon intention. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ. Sincerity, ya akhwani. So you're going to be sincere to repent from all the sins. Now, paying the debts. I'm going to talk about that. Right? Write and update your will. But those all recommendation is not compulsory. Recommendation. Money used for the Hajj should be halal. Try to accompany a knowledgeable person. That's a very important thing. You've got a knowledgeable person, hook on to him. Because there are things there you can't get them through the notes and the books. And no. Get them from personal accompanying of this personal person, this educated person. Learn about the Hajj. Attend lectures like you do. Read. Learn and memorize some of the dua and the Quran and the Sunnah, because you need some of those. You don't need to look at them. Okay. For example, in the Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah faman hajja al-bayta. Remind them. Instead of looking at them, just memorize them as much as you can. Learn how to pray Salat al-Janazah, because you're going to be praying lots of Janazah. In every single prayer, there is, well, at least one. Always plenty. People die. So you need to know how to pray the Janazah. Learn as well the Salat al-Safar, traveling. When you travel, how do you do Salah? Do I do the Sunnah? Sunnah al-Dhuhr, Sunnah Asr? Do I do Sunnah al-Maghrib? For example, I need to learn. And learn the etiquette of visiting the graves, and very importantly, the medical checkup. Make sure that you are medically, because you're going to take your tablets and all of that. Right, for the debts. Khwani, being debt-free is not a condition for performing a Hajj. It's not a precondition. But you should be taking debt seriously. As much as you can, pay your debt. If you're not able to, then make an arrangement to their payments. So, ensure, for example, that the family members are aware of these outstanding payments or debts. Islamic will, in that, write the debts as well. So, if the debt is due, you get somebody giving you some money, and he said to you that you have to pay it this month, which is before you go to Hajj. Then, in this case, take permission from the creditor. If you went, your Hajj is valid, but you're going to be sinned. So if you went and you took the money who was supposed to give to the one who had credited you, you took the money, you didn't give him the money, and you went for Hajj, and then he has to wait for a long time for that, you're going to be sinned. Your Hajj is acceptable. But if you took permission from him to at least delay me, defer me the payment, no problem, inshallah, that would be good. طيب, it is permissible to take a loan for Hajj, but it is disliked. Why should you put a financial burden upon you and then incur sin for settling that debt? Why do you want to do that? طيب, what to take? Khwani, documents, packing things. And remember, you're not going with companies anymore. You may be going on your own these days. And that's more difficult. Before, the company looks after you, you make sure the documents are there. But now, you're going online. So you're traveling with online. That's your company online. Allah al-Musta'an. So make things in the following mind of yours when you travel. That is light. Don't carry a lot. Because whatever you carry, you're going to bring. Don't carry things a lot. You want to carry them all around you. Take which is essential things, like prescription. If you are something wrong with your health. Even compact, light items, very good. Okay, so camping section is a good place to seek your things. And gadgets, you know, the gadgets are very good. Like I'll tell you what. For example, your mobile charger, the mobile wire, a weighing scale. You know, there's just about £3 they cost. Weighing scale, little one, to weigh your bags when you go to. There's these things, you know, they're really helpful. And you say, what is my bag? Is it going to be heavier or not heavier? That scale will help you. Type. Do not take valuable things. You might lose them. Most items are available in Saudi Arabia. Okay? Type. Essentials now. Ihram towels. Ihram towels, because if you're going to do your Hajj, you might pass by the miqat on board of the plane. Nobody's selling you ihram clothes on board of the plane. So you have to have them. And maybe you have to put them before you board the plane. Okay? There's nobody selling ihram clothes on board of the plane or in the airport. So prepare that. But if you are going to a place which is not going to assume ihram, and you have time, you don't have, you could buy it from there, from Saudi Arabia. But there is a thing here, everything's online. Okay, buy good quality. It will last you for a bit longer time. And also buy it a long sheet, not the short one. You risk the exposing your body and your private parts. But medication, important. Money. I will tell you here, I will say shop around. No, you don't need it. You just do it in Saudi Arabia. So skip that. Everything there. It's better exchange rate there. And you'll find lots of exchange rate. Lots of people who are exchanging your money. MashaAllah. It's not a bank. Just outside. They're just sitting like this and they're doing it very, very, very quick. In every almost hotel they'll have one. Almost. So you're not gonna have so you don't have to exchange money around. But there is sometimes you could find cards, you could fill them up with money. Shop around with banks. Sometimes I'm telling you, it's with me, when I use my debit card, I'm getting a better exchange than those exchange machines. Believe me, with a better exchange, and I don't have to run. So I could use my debit card whenever I want to buy things, but I'd have to tell you something, that not all shops they will accept debit cards. If you go to a normal restaurant, so debit card, not what he does. But normally, most of the places they accept. Most of the places. So if you carried maybe £200, £100 in cash, your card is enough. Because all these shops and restaurants keep take away, they've got card machine. When I use my card, it's much better than going to the exchange rate. I've stopped using it now to go to the exchange rate. Use your debit card. Right. Travel belt, Hajj belt is good, like this. It doesn't have to be non-stitched. No. Stitched or not stitched, it has nothing to do with what you're not allowed to put on. Get the most secured one. You could put your mobile in. I think maybe this one would be better. Why? Let me put some here. Pointer. Laser point. Okay. Now you could see me. Yes. This one, I think it's better. Why? Because you put your mobile inside it. And they are very cheap in Saudi Arabia. 5 riyals, £1. Maximum, yeah? Maybe 10 riyals, £2. Nothing, alhamdulillah. Type. Clothing, comfortable and modest clothes. Hindu pak sharwal, qamis. Okay. Saudi thobes, one-piece head to toe garment are ideal and are recommended for men. I mean, you're not talking about no ihram, we're talking about when you are inside Saudi Arabia there. Women wear normal, comfortable clothes, avoid nylon because they are hot. Warm jackets if you're going to Medina during the winter season, but not now. Now everything's warm. I think she's hot. Then you need to carry an AC on top of your head. Socks, useful for voluntary tawaf. I make my tawaf and sa'i with my shoes. But I'm a person who can really encounter any idiot or ignorant person say to me, haram, and I know how to counter, but I don't know about you. Once you tell them the hadith and then they say, oh, khalas, he's sheikh, he knows. I don't know. You be quiet. And also my age tells these people to behave. But when you are young, you're going to be attacked. Especially if you go to the haram of the Medina. I go from the beginning to the end with my shoes on. Unless when I go to the carpet. But on those things that really pokes my feet and all of that, I put my shoes on. If anybody says to me something, Akhi, the policeman has got bigger boots. Why don't you just tell him off? All the police are there with big boots. Why they got something on their head? They're distinguishing them? What are they? Prophet ﷺ's masjid was pebbles. And the companions to pray with his shoes on. That's the norm. Yes, the carpet, I'll take my shoes off. Type. Slippers. You see, I'm putting all of these just to make sure that you understand. All of that are acceptable. All of those are acceptable. There's not such a thing that it's not allowed. It's not allowed if you put those which are, like the khuf. You know, have you seen the khuf? Okay, that's the one that's not allowed. Okay? So these are no problem during your ihram clothes. It doesn't have to have this open from the back side. No, it doesn't have to. Okay? It doesn't have to. And as for the person who is not supposed to cover his ankles, and he didn't find any shoes except for covering his ankles, no problem. So the normal shoes are okay as well. For sleeping, maybe the night of Muzdalifah. I don't know what they're going to be providing you. So this one be okay, but you have to ask where you're going when you go to Muzdalifah, because as I said, this night of Muzdalifah, there's no hotels. You're going to be sleeping not in a 5-star hotel. I call it the 100-star hotel because all the stars are on top of you. No roof. And it's going to be hot. If you've got, mashallah, fortunate to have the company putting carpet underneath, alhamdulillah, blocks the heat. Otherwise, you could feel the heat goes to your mattress, so it's really hot. That night is a bit sort of difficult night. I call it, this is the night of the Hajj. Maybe these things, inflatable pillows, maybe these things will help you. Maybe if you are in need of those things, eye cover because you can't sleep or all this, maybe you could, the pins as well for your ihram towels, earplugs because you can't sleep with the noise. At tawaf sa'i counter, this is for tawaf. How many tawaf you do? I mean, I count with my fingers. You could count. I mean, I brought the most sort of classic one. This one, that's a classical one. You could put digital. This is for how many round the Kaaba you made. Because sometimes you forget. So this will help you to remember this. I've done 1, done 2, I've done 3. So you got 7 there. These are things that will help you as well, because heat, you got sometimes you get inflamed skins, and so you need maybe Vaseline, you need all of those. So I'll just go through them, because I'm just going to go back here. They're not essential, but you could just look at them if you want. For example, a small book of authentic dua, and now the mobile will do everything. You got everything in the mobile. Small bag for pebbles. I use for any bottle like this brother's bottle here for water. I use it for putting. Give it to me, brother. Oh, here, I got one here, just like that one. Not with the water, empty. And I put my pebbles when I want to throw. I could use it there, yeah. Better. Set up a bag and all of that. This one, and then I could see through how many stones I've got inside it as well. This is the phone mobile. Don't forget your charger. If you've got a special charger. To have a charger, especially the cable. Right. Right, let's just so now make sure that you turn your phone off in the masjids. Right, a lot of patience, that's what you need. Wallahi, you need that patience at the end of your journey. Don't lose your Hajj. Do not get angry. I've seen somebody said, I am not going to come back again to Hajj. I'm going to tell everybody not to come to Hajj. He lives in America. What is this, brother? He lost it because of some people. طيب. You see a lot of things irritating you, and also behavior was not acceptable. Right? Change these things with wisdom. Ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to help you, to give you patience, be positive and hope for the best. Have only one concern, that Allah accepts your Hajj. Right. Let's go to some of the definitions now. Those are things, I'm going to put them quickly like this. Okay. Those are things for you to learn. What is a pillar? What is a prerequisite shart, and what is obligatory, and what is sunnah, and what is manasik, and what is prohibition, and what is fidya, and what is hadi. So each one will come in terms, but you don't need to memorize them. But you see, there are things are considered pillars, and if you lose one of them, your Hajj is invalid. I'll give you an example. If you did not go into Arafah, that's a pillar, you lost your Hajj. If you did not go to Muzdalifah and sleep that night, as a pillar, you lost your Hajj. If you did not do your Tawaf al-Ifadah, that's a pillar, you haven't done your Hajj. So those things are, that's what you need to do, it's a pillar. Shart is compulsory to do it, but your Hajj still valid if you haven't done it. It's compulsory, for example, to put your ihram clothes. But let's say this person, he had put his ihram clothes and he put underwear. His Hajj is still valid. He sinned for that. Why? Because he must put no clothes which are made for the limbs. He put gloves. He's not allowed to put gloves. He sinned because it's a must, it's a shart that he's put on the ihram, but it's not going to invalidate your Hajj. There are things which are recommended, we call them sunnah. There are things which are obligatory, but they're not shart, they're not condition. Which is like the one I had said. Sorry, the conditions, by the way, if you lose them, you lose the Hajj. Like let's say this person, he is insane. He had insanity before he's doing Hajj, then his Hajj is invalid. Manasik means Hajj rituals. Prohibited ihrams, we're going to talk about what other things you're not allowed to talk, you're not allowed to do. Fidya means that is compensatory act of missing an obligation. What you should do if you miss this, what you should be paying as a penalty. The hadi means the animal sacrifice for performing tafandur. Let's go now to much more exciting things. Month of the Hajj, these are the ones, the last 3 months. Shawwal, Dhul, Qi'dah, Dhul, Hijjah. And the days of the Hajj are the following days. They are called the days of the Hajj. Here, the 8th, 9th, 10th. As 11th and 12th and 13th, they are called days of Tashriq. But those are the days of the Hajj. They're all of them in the month of Dhul Hijjah. So why then, if the Hajj days are in the month of Dhul Hijjah, we have the months of the month of Hajj includes 2 months on top of Dhul Hijjah. This is for a person who's making Hajj, Tamattu or Qiran. He could start with his Umrah in Shawwal. He could start his Umrah today. He could make Umrah now there and will be part of his Hajj. Okay, that's what it means. Khwani, there's some people at the back talking, and that is not right. Jazakumullah khair. So the person can make a Umrah in Shawwal, and he doesn't have to stay there. He could just go back home. And that is part of his what? Part of his Hajj. He doesn't have to stay there. That's the correct opinion, because there's opinion says you're not allowed to go beyond the parameters of Mecca, for example. No, you could go. If it's your intention that this Umrah is for your Hajj, you could make this Umrah now, come back, and then you only do the Hajj, which is on the 8th of the Hijjah. That's what the Hajj starts, on the 8th. There's no Umrah after the 8th. Umrah to be before the 8th. Because Hajj, Tamattu', as we're going to see, Umrah first and then Hajj. But let's just go to the kinds of Hajj now. Tamattu', Umrah, then you finish, then during the month of Hajj, you do the Hajj, the Umrah, then pilgrims are called Tamattu', required hadi, animal sacrifice. So it's like this, Umrah, then Hajj. Finish Umrah, then Hajj. Qiran is two together. So combined Umrah and Hajj during the months of Hajj. Pilgrims called Qiran. So if he does it, he can't go leave Umrah. He can't leave Mecca. He has to be there. Because it's going to be with the Hajj. Third one, Ifrad, which is Hajj on its own. Which one did the Prophet ﷺ ask us to do? Tamattu'. The first one. Which one did the Prophet ﷺ do? Anybody? Qiran. Well done. So the Prophet ﷺ, he done Qiran, yet he had commanded the companions to do Tamattu', because he didn't know. Once he finished his Umrah, the command came that to make break of your Umrah. So he commanded all the companions who did not bring the hadi, the sacrificial animal, to break their state of ihram and khalas, finish your Umrah. So after he finished the Umrah, the command came to him. So all those people who did not bring the sacrificial, the hadi, because the Prophet ﷺ brought the sacrificial all the way from Medina, all the way to the, because of that he couldn't break his off ihram. He said, if I knew what is ahead, I will never take with me the hadi. I would have just broken my ihram. I didn't do that. Some scholars, they said the only Hajj which is allowed is Tamattu', because the Prophet ﷺ commanded the companions to do that. So this is called Tamattu', and it's better. Do Umrah, relax, and do Hajj. Hajj locations. Okay. Mawaqit, plural of miqat, geographical boundary that a person intending to make Hajj or Umrah, he may not cross these boundaries without assuming a state of ihram. So if you're going for shopping, you're going for business, you're not going for Hajj and Umrah, you don't do anything. But if you are intended to make Hajj or Umrah, you may not pass them. Don't cheat. You have to presume Hajj and Umrah, state of ihram. Muslim intending Hajj or Umrah who crosses the miqat without ihram must return to the miqat and make ihram from there. If he doesn't return and make ihram for the miqat, then he is sinned. Some scholars said, no, you have to sacrifice them. A controversial issue. But we have only, we're going to see, only 4 things which I have to sacrifice for them. But is it when you make something like this, I have to make a sacrificial? Controversial. But you definitely sinned. So that tells us that this is obligatory act to make the state of ihram from the miqat. طيب. The mawaqit, Prophet ﷺ, he gave him this in the ahadith that talk about them from the journey. Look, this is where, Khwani, this is Mecca. This is our aim. And these are the boundaries which are representing the places to assume ihram if you're coming. So I've got here, first place, it's called Dhul. And this one is the farthest from the miqat, Dhul. This is where the people coming from Medina. That's Medina here, by the way. Okay, Dhul. Right. And also, we have Rabigh, which is Al-Juhfa. Okay, that's people coming from northwest of Mecca. And we have Dhatu Irq for Iraqi people. It doesn't mean that Iraqi has to go from there. You could go from the other side, but this is from the side of Iraq. And this is for Ahl Najd, Qarn al-Manazil. And this is Yalamlam for the people of Yemen. If you notice that Jeddah is not a miqat. If you landed in Jeddah, you did not presume, you did not assume your ihram, you need to go back where you came from. So if you came from this area, from this side, like the Europeans, then from Al-Juhfa. That's your ihram place. If you came from this side and you were rotated around this here and you came to landed in Jeddah without assuming ihram, then you need to go back to Dhul Hulayfa. That's why I said, if you have your ihram passing through the miqat, then carry your ihram with you, put it on before you board the plane, and the person who is the pilot, he will tell you that you are now in parallel to the state of to the miqat, and then you will presume ihram on board of the plane before you land into Jeddah. So be careful. Okay, maybe this scenario is going to take place, ikhwani. Okay, and that is, some people will land in Jeddah, but their Hajj route is as follows. They're going to go from Jeddah to Medina first, stay in Medina, and then come back to do the Hajj. Do you understand what I said? This happens a lot. Person who lands in Jeddah, especially coming to Europe, but his actually program is that he can go to Medina straight away, and then in Medina he's going to presume ihram for his umrah. In this case, because your program is like this, even you're going to be passing the miqat, but your program that you're going to be assuming umrah, not now, when you are in Medina, there's no problem. So you land in Jeddah, you still have your normal clothes, you're going to go by train maybe, whatever is train, plane, whatever. You're going to go all the way to Medina, and then in there, the program will start, when you start your ihram, you'll start it from Dhul Hulayfa. Try to go by train, ikhwani. I went for train the last time. Huge difference between the train and a coach. Huge difference. Okay, because it's so quick, 300 kilometers per hour. Subhanallah. And plus, clean, fast. And you got toilets in there, everything. Yes, maybe through the coach you missed the baboon trip. There's some monkeys on the way, if you want to see them, but I'm not interested in monkeys, I'm interested in my Hajj and Umrah. Okay, so that's going to miss. But you're not going to miss anything. Train is the best for you. I made train this the last time. I was really amazed. But Haram of Mecca. What is Haram of Mecca? Haram of Mecca is a sanctified area that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he is the one who asked to make Mecca to be Haram. Okay. Now, there is some flags being set, and this is the Haram. You're going to see it in a minute, the area. Perimeter is like this. So let's just see the Haram. In this Haram, we're not allowed, this is not to do with the miqat. In this Haram, we're not allowed to cut the plants except for the idkhir. It's the scented grass used in houses and graves. Game must not be frightened. Hunt, not allowed to be hunting. Okay, articles lost cannot be claimed. You know when let's say you find a mobile outside this masjid. Now this mobile is with you, or let's say you found gold. Okay, so you're going to tell the police, maybe you're going to tell the people around it that anybody had lost gold, and if somebody comes and you describe the gold for me, then you give it to him. But after 1 year, if nobody claimed it, it's yours. Unless the person who is the owner of the gold comes, even after 10 years. But if he comes after 1 year, and I spent the gold, I will tell him, your gold is with me, but I spent it. Now wait for me until I gather some money and give it to you. But within the year, you have to be kept until this guy claims it. I'm talking about a found which is worthwhile. Not £5, £10, £50. Nobody's going to come looking for it. It's finished. A considerable amount of money. In Haram, no. There's no claim for that. You have to put it and hand it over to the office. Okay? To the office, which is called lost and found, or whatever it's called, for that property. Type. Not to bear arms. These restrictions apply also to the Haram of the Medina. You'll find this is the area. This says here, beginning of the Haram. So the other side of this will be the end of Haram boundary. Question, this car, is it inside or outside the Haram? Put your hands out. Yes? Inside. With this sign here, is it outside or inside? Outside. Okay? So this is like, it says like this. And you'll have another one, not far away from it. It'll show you the parameter of the Haram. Fine. Let's just go look at it. This is the parameters of the Haram. That's the Masjid al-Haram. Okay, this is the Haram's city of Mecca. So the Haram is represented by this circle here. That one here. Sorry. This one here. There it is. That's the haram. And you have places which is well known. Arafah is from the haram. Okay, that's Mina, by the way, and that's where your Hajj is going to be. Arafah, Muzdalifah, Mina, and the haram. This is your Hajj area here. That's it. Between these areas. Right. You could see here, those areas here. I'm going to just show them to you in a minute. Right. This is to Medina in the north. Those are the places. Ji'rana, Tan'im, called Masjid Aisha, Hudaybiyah, Nakhla, Arafah, Adah, Libn. Those are the 5 places indicating the haram, the sanctuary. Okay, they are here. And how many miles? Closest one is Masjid al-Tan'im, where people they make Umrah, more Umrah, which is not correct. It's not right to make more extra Umrah from that place. They find it easy for them to make extra Umrah. It's not right. طيب. Al-Mawaqit. Let's just see now. So you got Mecca. You got this is the Haram. And then you got the Mawaqit on top of that. That's the Mawaqit. See Dhul Hulayfa, Juhfa, Dhatu Irq, Qarn al-Manazil, Yalamlam. طيب. Jeddah is inside the Mawaqit. Dua for the traveling, which is the person should know it. Subhanallah sakhadana hada to the end. Okay, you land in the Jeddah, right? Maybe Jeddah is your first place. Maybe you land in Medina, but most of them gotta go to Jeddah first. Okay, so this is maybe you're gonna be staying in these. These are old pictures, by the way. Now we're gonna go to Umrah step by step. Before that, relaxation just a bit. If you have any. Just relax for 2-3 minutes. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Umrah step by step. For those who have done Umrah, you'll find that there are things there maybe first time for you to hear about them. So let's just learn the Umrah, even if you have done Umrah before, but this is to... who hasn't done Umrah? Put your hands up. Who hasn't done Umrah at all? Never. Never. I'm not, everybody's done Umrah, mashallah. Okay. You'll learn, inshallah. Come here, brother. Come here. Get closer. Don't sit on your own. Get close. طيب, the summary is Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i, and Halq. This is Umrah. Finished. I'm finished Umrah. Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i between Safa and Marwa, and Halq, Shaybin. Finished. That's the Umrah. But inshallah details. طيب. I'm not going to go through this because, okay, Umrah, preparation for the Ihram. Before assuming Ihram, it is recommended to take a ghusl. This is called ghusl of the Ihram. So you're going through the board of the plane, you're going to make Ihram on board of the plane, make ghusl at home. Then go to the airport. Recommendation, ya ikhwani. Right. Also, permissible, unadvisable, to clip mustache, nails, remove pubic hair. Why? Because you're not allowed to touch them later on for a bit of time. And lubricate. It's permissible to put perfume on your body because Aisha, she said, I used to put scented oils on the Messenger of Allah when making Ihram before completed Ihram. Can I just ask the brothers who are in the Zoom to put your hands down? Jazakumullah khair. Yeah. So before he completed Ihram and for his, okay, Prophet ﷺ, he used to have Aisha putting like perfume, but not on the Ihram clothes, on his body. That is before he assumes Ihram. You could have a shower, you could have perfume, that's all of it before you assume the Ihram. Putting Ihram garments for the men only, and this is still before you haven't started the Ihram yet. Pray the prescribed Salah if it's time for it. So Dhuhr, pray the Dhuhr. Asr, pray the Asr. Pray to Rak'ah if you make an Ihram from Dhul Hulayfa. There's a place called Dhul Hulayfa which is in Medina. If you make Ihram from there, it is sunnah to pray 2 rak'ah, which is in a place called Wadi al-Aqiq. Wadi al-Aqiq is the valley, and it's not inside that masjid where Dhul Hulayfa. It's just a bit outside. Now you need somebody to go with you to show you where it is. That's the sunnah, only from that place. And people wrongly, they take these 2 rak'ahs to be the 2 rak'ah of ihram. There is no such thing called 2 rak'ah of ihram. There is no such thing called 2 rak'ah of ihram. So if you made ihram from somewhere else, there's no 2 rak'ah. Only the prescribed prayer. But this one, because the Prophet of Allah, he was there, and Jibreel came to him, and he said to him that you are in a blessed valley. So offer the prayer. We're going to see inshallah. This phone, ikhwani? طيب. Note, up to this point, all you have done is preparation, nothing else. Okay. Note that your intention had already been done since you decided to make your umrah. So if now you decided your decision to make umrah for next year, that's your intention. Right. To start your ihram, you're saying the following words. Labbaik Allahumma bi'umrah. Here I am, O Allah, intending umrah. If you said these words, now that you are in the state of ihram. And also, this is equivalent of saying Allahu Akbar in your salah. So when you are starting the salah, you say Allahu Akbar. That's the start. So when you start this, whatever was halal before, it becomes haram. You're not allowed to eat a sandwich after this. You're not allowed to sew your clothes after this. You're not allowed to talk to other people after this. In this, you're allowed to talk, you're allowed to eat, but there are things you're not allowed to do after this point. We're going to talk about them in a minute, inshallah. Also, it's recommended to add the following words straight after that. Allahumma umratan la riya'a fiha wa la sum'a. Allahumma mahilli haythu habastani. What does that mean? Oh Allah, I intend umrah without showing off. If you didn't add this, no problem. But you want to perfect your Hajj and umrah. And also you add Allahumma mahilli haythu habastani, which is, oh Allah, I declare state of no ihram wherever you restrain me. What does that mean? Something happened to me. So I'm saying, oh Lord, I'm making a condition upon Allah. Oh Lord, that you have restrained me, I can't continue, I've broken my leg, something happens to me, then I'm declaring state of ihram. So I could just remove my state of ihram and khalas, got nothing. So if you haven't said these words and you decided not to continue your umrah or hajj, then the final penalty will be. Number one, you have to sacrifice where you are. Okay. Number two, you have to as well do it on the year after. So if it's a Hajj or Umrah, you have to do it the following year. It becomes a debt. But if you have said these words, you don't have to do it. Unless it's your Hajj of your lifetime, you have to do it. But you don't have to do it as if it's a voluntary one. And you don't have to sacrifice if you said these words. So say these words, it will be something to protect you later on. You never know what's going to happen. After you started your ihram, repeat the following talbiyah aloud. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك. Or لبيك إله الحق. Those two, Prophet Allah used to use them a lot, which is the one that everybody does, and also another one which is لبيك إله الحق. He repeats لبيك إله الحق لبيك إله الحق. Here I am, Lord of truth. Always say it in Arabic. Don't use the English. Also from the talbiyah that the Prophet ﷺ had also accepted from the companions, لبيك ذا المعارج لبيك ذا الفواضل لبيك وسعديك والخير. Each one, by the way, on its own. So this one is لبيك ذا المعارج لبيك ذا الفواضل. You keep repeating. لبيك وسعديك والخير بيديك والرغباء إليك والعمل. That's one. لبيك مرغوبا أو مرهوبا لبيك ذا النعماء والفضل الحسن. That's one and so on as well. It is permissible to mix the previous talbiyah with tahleel, la ilaha illallah. So labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, inna alhamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika lak, la ilaha illallah. طيب. It is obligatory to say the talbiyah in loud voice. Remember, it's not a shart condition, it's not a pillar. But it's not correct to say it in a low voice. It's obligatory to say it in a loud voice. Saying talbiyah in low voice is against the sunnah. And companions used to lose the voices only 36 miles away from Medina. So that's about, on a camel, 36 miles, you're talking about maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, they lose their voices. Okay, in the case of Umrah, should be continued until you see Mecca houses, Haram borders, in order to free the oneself for coming stages. But if everything was being prepared for you, you could continue until the Masjid Haram, no problem. Saying the talbiyah in groups is against the sunnah. Companions recite it individually. So it's not you together to say talbiyah together. No. If you synchronize without you deliberately wanted to synchronize, no problem. Because usually the person who shouts the loudest, he will pull everybody with him. That's a natural thing. The loudest one, he will pull everybody with him. Why? Because if he's loud and I'm low, I can't move my own talbiyah, so I have to do with him. I'm forced. Okay, that's no problem. But to wait for him to start, 1, 2, 3, that's not right. Right. Prophet ﷺ, he told us about what is the talbiyah and what is the reward for that. The talbiyah, everything that make talbiyah, everything on your right hand side from the stones and tree will make talbiyah along with you. As for the women, okay, the hayd and nifas doesn't make them to stop the talbiyah. So they presume, take shower and everything. There's no difference between the women and the men in respect of raising voice in talbiyah, except if she fears causes fitna. Her voice causes fitna. Otherwise, she could make it loud. Aisha should make it loud amongst her, the women. Okay, so that's no problem. Prohibition of ihram. In terms of clothing, that's for the men first. They cannot put sewn clothes such as shirt, turban, hooded cloak, trousers, underwear, anything which is made for a certain limb, gloves, okay, khuf. Sewn materials in themselves are okay. Your towel that you're putting on is made from thread and stitches, no problem. I could turn my towel, which is for haram, into something which is not allowed. How? I bring the towel, and then I wrap it around my sleeve, and then I start put pins, and pins on the other side, and then I made as well like buttons. It became a shirt. It's not allowed. Even it's a towel. Okay? I could make my jacket, which is not allowed, to make it halal. So I'm cold. So I put my jacket as a blanket on me to wrap me. No problem. But when I start using it as a jacket, putting my hands in my sleeves and put it on, that becomes haram. Okay? So I could turn this halal, I could turn this haram. So we're not allowed to put anything that's sewn to a particular limb. Whether it's sleeves, whether it's for the body, whether it is for a head, or whether it's gloves, not allowed. Okay. Cannot put gloves, cannot cover the head with something that touches it. So it's hot. I'm allowed to bring an umbrella, but I'm allowed to put a hat. I could take the hat off and put it like this for the sun, no problem. But once I put it on, it's haram. Question. I've got some stuff to be carried, like a big suitcase. And the only way for me to carry it, and easy, is to put it on top of my head. And I'm not intending to shade myself with it. And I'm touching my head. I'm in a state of ihram now. Ihram towels on top of me. And I'm putting my big suitcase on top of my head and I'm carrying it. You've seen the Africans how they do it as well. They're very good in doing this. They carry it on. Allowed or not allowed? Allowed. No problem. Even it's touching the head. Why? Because you're not intending to shade yourself with it. But this is the only way you could carry that back. Right. Islam is very, mashallah, flexible. Women can wear the normal clothes without specifying colors, because some of the women, they say it's white. No, it's not. It could be black, it could be anything. Without covering their faces with veils or their hands with gloves. They're not allowed to put gloves. And they're not allowed to put veils. What is a veil? Niqab. Something that they will wrap it on top of their face and pull it from the back. Okay? And that's just to show two eyes or to show one eye. That's not allowed. But what is allowed in the presence of men that they want to cover, because they cover their faces normally, is to have that veil not to be tied up, is to be made from the top, put some sort of needles or pins there in it. Once there's men, put it down. Once there is no men, take it up. That's if you cut from the women, you cover their faces. So it doesn't matter touching the face or not. And that's why you find some of the women, they put a hat on top of it like that, like a piece of cloth. You're making it more attractive to the men. Once you do this, the men will try to see what's inside this. Not correct. Because they think that you can't be touching the face. That's not right. It could touch the face. What is not allowed is to tie it up. It should. Okay? So no problem to put it, but it's a problem you put a cap and you put this. This man, it arouses the men. It's not correct. So, correct thing, if you want to, from the women you want to cover, once there is men, just put that thing down onto you. No problem. Type. Fragrance. Should not perfume yourself. Of course, women, they can't fragrance themselves, even if they're not a state of ihram outside their houses. So you should not perfume yourself, your clothing after entering ihram. Cleansing. You should not remove hair from anywhere. You should not, that's for men and women, you should not clip your nails. And by the way, there is no proof for the clipping of the nails, but we go along with we call it istiqra. Type. Prohibition of ihram. Slide number 3. Intercourse is not allowed because it will damage your hajj straight away. Wedding, to wed. Okay? And hunting. You should not hunt or assist anyone to hunt. You should not kill animals except those who are harmful. Lice, rats, snakes, okay? Scorpions, and fishing is allowed. It's not called hunt. But I don't know, you're going to be fishing while you're in a state of ihram. That's up to you. Taib. Expiation of violation. Okay, the restrictions of ihram in terms of fidya are 4 categories. Number 1, marital relations. You did the marital relation. A camel to be slaughtered. Oh, expensive. First intercourse before the first tahallul. If you made your intercourse before the first tahallul. What is the first tahallul? I will tell you inshallah when it comes to the hajj. In addition, the hajj is void, means valid, and needs to be performed in the following year. A sheep fidya, if the intercourse was after the first tahallul, but before the second, hajj is valid. No fidya for wedding. Hunting, same animal or its equivalent. You hunted something, then you have to be paying to slaughter an animal which is equivalent. Cutting the hair due to illness or lice, just for that, means for harm. Fidya to be paid. This is a choice between fasting 3 days or feeding 6 needy people or slaughtering a hadi in the haram of Mecca, sheep, cow or camel. If there is no valid reason, then it is sin and repentance is required in addition to the fidya. So you just shaved your head, no lice, no harm, sinful, plus that fidya. Restrained due to injury or enemy or lost the way or anything that happened stopped you. You've been restrained, hisar. Slaughtering a hadi in the place where you are restrained, whether it's a sheep, cow, camel. Unless he had made that conditional statement, Allahumma mahilli haythu habastan. You remember? If you said that statement, that number 4 will not apply to you. Permissible things in ihram. There is no harm in using umbrella. You know something, that the people who are Rafidah, Shia, they don't allow themselves to have an umbrella. Not only that, they travel in coaches and buses. I don't know if you've seen them before or not, which has no roof. You seen that? Anybody seen that? Anybody saw that? SubhanAllah, they torture themselves. Let them. So their coaches and their buses, they've got no roof. So to have the sun all the time. SubhanAllah. It must be the Khawarij. They do extra ibadah, but they are in the hellfire. Not accepted from them. Wearing, so there is no harm as well to carry a bag. And as I said, on your head as well, not for the shade. Wearing sandals that do not cover the ankles. If you have only shoes, okay, no problem. It could, if cold, put normal clothes on top of the izar. Wearing a ring, no problem. Wearing a hearing aid, no problem. Wearing eyeglasses, no problem. Cleansing yourself with cleaners, which they have, they have some sort of smell. Some of them like perfume smell, but they're still called cleaners. They're not called perfume. I've never seen somebody who perfumes himself with a shampoo. Okay, shampoo is give you the perfume stays for a long time, but then shampoo and all of that, just for the wash, no problem. Washing your ihram garments or putting new ones, no problem. Wearing a belt to keep your money, no problem. Using a mask, no problem. There is no harm to touch the black stone, even if it's got perfume in it, no problem. No harm to shake the hands of someone who's perfumed. All of this, I put it there in case you need to ask. I had the pitfalls of ihram. Okay. Crossing the miqat without ihram. This violates a wajib. You can't cross the miqat without ihram. Thinking that ihram is putting the two towels. No. Making the intention of Hajj or Umrah or both is the essence of ihram, not the towels. You could put the towels right now if you wish and sleep with him. Huh? If you want. Thinking that it is a sunnah to make 2 rak'ah before ihram. No, this is only for Dhul Hulayfa. Thinking that ghusl or wudu is a condition. No, it is not. It is just recommended. Uncovering the right shoulder is a bid'ah. It's not correct. During the whole time, some people is putting, the ihram clothes, exposing the right shoulder from the beginning to the end. That's not right. It's only during the tawaf of al-qudum, arrival, as we're going to see. Thinking that anything has stitches is forbidden. That's not right. Women with their menses thinking that they cannot assume ihram and pass the miqat without ihram. The only Hajj ritual women is her menses cannot perform is tawaf. Don't worry. Women thinking that ihram requires particular clothes. No, any clothes. Starting the Hajj or Umrah and quitting it before completing it. No, once you are in, you cannot come out. It's not an option for you. Now you go into the Masjid al-Haram. This is Masjid al-Haram. These are an old pictures, ikhwani. It's not been modified. Safa and Marwa. Okay, that's gate. Right, let me just now. That shows you, by the way, you cannot make tawaf inside that plate unless at the moment you are in a state of ihram. It means you got your clothes of ihram. As for the others, you have to do it from the second floor, which is a bit longer. Much longer. Right. This is a more modern picture. Please focus. That's the Kaaba. Okay? Right. So we're going to study the Kaaba now. Right. This one is the door of the Kaaba. The Kaaba, ya ikhwani, was built at the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, along with his son Ismail alayhi salam. He's the one who built the Kaaba. And the Kaaba, when it was built from here all the way up to here. So that little semicircle was part of the Kaaba. But what happened at the time of Quraysh? This is before the Prophet of Allah received his revelation. Flood came, deluge. Demolished the Kaaba. So they wanted to rebuild the Kaaba. So when they wanted to rebuild the Kaaba, there's a story, a fascinating story about it. But just to cut it short, they were short in money. They built 2/3 and left that 1/3. They couldn't complete it with their money. So they made this circle, which means you cannot make shortcut of tawaf in between here. You have to make it around. Okay? Now, funnily enough to say, at the time of Abdullah ibn Zubayr, when he was the mayor of Mecca, what he did, he built it again according to Ibrahim alayhi salam. So he had extended that building up to here. Abdullah ibn Zubayr was the mayor of Mecca. But the Hajjaj, who had defeated him, and Hajjaj, he killed so many companions. What he did, he said that this is a bid'ah. So what he did, he demolished it and rebuilt it according to what Quraysh had done. He made it like this. And Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he was the king, the caliph at that time. He listened to Al-Hajjaj, but later on, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he said, well, he knew already from the beginning that he regretted it. When he asked some of the companions, they said, well, the sunnah is to be all of it. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said to Aisha, had it been that the people of Quraysh, the people of yours, will say to me that I have changed the religion of Ibrahim, I would have demolished the Kaaba, rebuilt it again, and I put this hijr along with the Kaaba. But he couldn't do it. Why? Because even he was the head of the Kaaba, the Prophet ﷺ, even the Kaaba is in his, because people they think, oh, he's changing the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So when he made it like this, Hajjaj, at the time of Malik, Imam Malik, the Caliph at that time asked him, shall we do it again? So rebuild it again and make it complete. As the time Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he said to him, no. Because we don't want the kings now. One rebuilt and one built. Becomes a game now. One built and one rebuilt. So that was left like that. Prophet ﷺ also, he said, if I was not going to be labeled changing the religion of Ibrahim, I would have made two doors. One door here and one door there. And he would have made the door, he made it level to the ground, because the door is now a bit high. Why was it made high? People of Quraysh made it high. So that nobody can enter except for the ones whom they're going to give him the green light. So they bring him the ladder, he climbs. And nobody can go inside. You have to be from the elite, not just anybody. But the Prophet of Allah, he said, I was going to make it two doors, one to come in, one to come out. So everybody can go in. It hasn't been made. That's the door of the Kaaba, Ikhwani. طيب. Second one, which is important to know, Maqam Ibrahim. That's the Maqam. You'll find like a glass there, and inside it there's like a foot, a trace of a foot, which is Ibrahim alayhi salam. What is that? When the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was building the Kaaba, he was using a stone to go on top of it to build the Kaaba. And then he looks at the equilibrium of the Kaaba, is it really right, left? So because of that, he left a mark. He traced his foot, left a mark on that stone. So Allah honored that place, called it Maqam Ibrahim, because Ibrahim is building the Kaaba. But you may ask here, how long is the hands of Ibrahim? That is a big distance, by the way. You go, I mean, how can it be? No, that Maqam was not here. That Maqam was next to the Kaaba. Who moved it there? Caliph Umar radiallahu anhu. He moved it to this place to make more room for the people to pass. And all the companions accepted. A good move. Okay? Otherwise, everybody now going to be stuck to that thing and going to cause congestion, so he made it far away. That's called Maqam Ibrahim. You know the story behind it. This is called Al-Hijr. Wrongly, they call it Hijr Ismail. You say Hijr Ismail, that means Ismail was there when he was a baby or something. That's not right. It was Al-Hijr, Al-Hatim, Al-Hashim. When Ismail was born, there was no Kaaba. Hasn't been built yet. Al-Hijr, Al-Hatim means the broken wall. Hashim, because the Kaaba was not built, so they left it like this. It looks nice, but before it was just a bit stones. This is the black stone corner. Black stone is the stone which came from heaven. It's not from earth. This is the most strongest stone that the whole Kaaba relies upon, the pillar. That black stone is in that corner. And touching the black stone or touching that corner, which is called a Rukn al-Yaman, this one, if you touch them, sins will be wiped off. Now, Ikhwani, the black stone is not complete. It's pieces. It's been broken. There's a story behind it. It's been stolen for 23 years. Then brought back and it was into pieces, and they're being glued together. طيب. This is Yemeni corner, and this is Shami corner. What is Yemeni corner? It means facing Yemen. Shami corner facing Bilad al-Sham. This is Iraqi corner facing Iraq. Please look. And this is Zamzam tap water. Right. This is to Safa and Marwa. Now, Zamzam is here, Zamzam everywhere, but Zamzam well was here, by the way. And this is direction to Safa. So the direction to Marwa is this one. So Safa here and Marwa here. You ready? Let's go. I'm going to start now with the questions. Now this is an image of the Kaaba, but from a different angle. It's not from the same angle. Everything's been rotated now. For you to know. For those who did not go to Umrah, you raised up your hands before. Can you be brave enough to raise up your hands again? I'm going to ask you questions. Come on. Look, you look scared now. Who didn't go? Start with you, Nasser. Yeah, Nasser? Look. What is this? Easiest for you. If you're not paying attention, I'm going to ask you to bring us some kebab now. Come on. Maqam Ibrahim. You see, mashallah. Paying attention. Who puts his hands up? There's lots of people here. You put your hands up? Yes. Okay. You haven't been to Umrah? Never? No. Okay. What is this? This is where it's pointing, not to a corner, to that thing. Al-Hijr, well done. Or Al-Hashim, or Al-Hatim. Who else? Yes? And you are as well. Next one. This one. Now think. Think. What is it? Black stone. Well done. Right. Who else? You? Here. And here. And why are you scared? Gonna be you, Ilyas. Yalla. What is this corner? Think. Think. Shh. You're not sure? Say, I'm not sure. Shh. Now, Sheikh, I'm not asking you. If you're brave, put your hands and I'll ask you. You can speak on behalf of somebody who's not correct. Huh? You don't know this one. Okay. We'll go to your brother. Yalla Ba'wayda. Yemeni corner, facing the Yemen. Well done. Anybody here who hasn't gone? Okay, brother, with the glasses. What's your name? Ismail. Oh, you are the built the Kaaba. You built the Kaaba. You should know now. Don't disappoint me, please. What is this corner? Shh. Shh. No, Sheikh, why did you tell him? Why is this habit of ours? What did you help him now? I don't understand that. Why? Let the person answer, Ikhwana. No, brother, I can't. Because he's got a brother with you, he can't hold his mouth. Anybody else? Yeah, no, you can't. Have you done Umrah before? Okay. Anybody? Who hasn't done Umrah? Well, there were more than that. Fadl. What is this corner? Iraqi corner. Well done. Right, now anybody who's been here or been there, I want to know where is this direction according to our image. Put your hands if you know. Fadl. Safa. Zamzam. Nobody? This is in the middle of the Kaaba, Khwani. Who says Marwa? Who says Zamzam? Who says Safa? You said Safa. You're wrong. Zamzam. Safa is not there. Safa is here. Corner of, which is black stone. That's the Safa, and that's it. Now this is the inside of the Kaaba, by the way. That's inside the Kaaba, Khwani. 3 pillars there, and that's the door of the Kaaba. Okay, that's the time when the flood. Can you see that person is making tawaf swimming? Look at the water, how much. It's up to the door. Subhanallah. It's a long time ago. Flood. طيب, let's go now step by step. Tawaf al-Qudum. Summary is arrive at Masjid al-Haram, go to the black stone, tawaf, mix it diba' and al-raml, pray 2 rak'ah of tawaf. Finished. That's tawaf al-qudum, which is the first part of the umrah. Summary, we finished it. Now we're going to go to arrive at the Masjid al-Haram, do ghusl if you can, as sunnah. So in your hotel, before you enter the Masjid al-Haram, make a ghusl. Ightisal, another one. The Prophet ﷺ entered the masjid from the gate of Bani Shayba. You could enter from any gate that you wish. Enter the masjid, do the same dua that you do to any masjid. Bismillah, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma aftah li abwaba rahmatik, a'udhu billahi al-azim, wa wajhi al-kareem, wa sultan al-qadeem, wa shaitan al-rajim. All of that is allowed. Once you see the Kaaba, raise your hands if you wish, as is recorded from Ibn Abbas. Then there is an authentic hadith, which is from Umar, dua of Umar. There's no authentic hadith, so dua recorded from the Prophet, but there is one from Umar. Allahumma anta salam wa minka salam fa hayyina rabbana bis salam. So as soon as I see the Kaaba when I'm walking, I'll stop, put my hands up. Rabbana anta salam wa minka salam fa hayyina rabbana bis salam. Going. Black stone, go to it. Then you may say Bismillah and then Allahu Akbar. Okay? Allahu Akbar is the most important one. But you could say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Touch it if you can. I don't think you can. Especially if you are going for the first time. Don't touch it. Now, if you can't kiss it, touch it, you can't, then you could make a sign towards it. Like that. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and move. And by the way, because you're going to be further away from the Kaaba, it doesn't have to be, laser light, pooh, onto the corner. Some people, before they made a mistake and they made a line all the way from the black stone on the floor. So every person, they were going, too many people, and they started looking like this. People fall down, they're triple. Do you understand me? They can keep, and they make a lot of congestion because they think they have to see it to do it from that line. It's like shooting, like no, you could do it 2 foot before, 3 foot before. Bismillah, Allah Akbar, and move. But people, because of their ignorance, that's why we have to have patience. A lot of patience, ikhwan. Ignorant. Yeah. If they knew it's only once, there would be no congestion. But what do? They stop. Bismillah, Allah Akbar. Bismillah, Allah Akbar. Bismillah, Allah Akbar. Look how many seconds now. 5, 6 seconds congestion made. And because they didn't learn. They don't bother to learn. They just go. Just look at the people, what they do, and they do. Just sit down and learn what to do. I'm pretty sure that guy, if you want to open the shop, he will make his homework properly. He will know what type of goods will be profitable. Where is the spot to sell that? He will make sure. If he wants to buy cucumber, he start rotating the cucumber. Which one is nicer? True or not? When it comes to religion, no, doesn't care. Let me just put my head with the heads. And that's it. No. You have to learn. Just like you've done for your cucumber and choosing your vegetables, you choose the best. Your deen, you need to do the best. Not just to go there like this. You have to learn. Do that at the beginning of each circuit. Do not have to touch the black stone for tawaf to be accepted. And do not push the crowd to get to the black stone. And the Prophet ﷺ, he told that to Umar. Hurting a Muslim is a sin, while kissing the black stone is not obligatory. What are you going to do? You're going to put your deen at stake? You're going to harm people just for the sake of... I've seen a woman going inside. And she came inside, and I saw her, with no hijab whatsoever. Her hijab was being pulled with her. She said, I've kissed it. Like that. MashaAllah. She's going to be rewardable, the woman. MashaAllah. No hijab, her hair just came out. And that she reached her goal. She kissed it. It's like when you turn goal. She had lots of sins in her because of that. Nobody asked her to go and compete, never mind to compete with women, she competed with men. Allah musta'an. But black stones, kiss it. This is what Allah's messengers, he said. Allah will say on the day of resurrection, he will send the black stone. It's got an eyes and it's got as well tongue. And he will testify for those who had touched it in the right manner, not shoving, pushing. Black stone, this is what it is. Black stone is broken into pieces, I said before. And this is like a history behind it. Okay, it's been cemented together. Tawaf al-Qudum. Qudum means arrival. Tawaf around the Kaaba. Start from the black stone. Kaaba on your left. Going around the Kaaba past the black stone. That's one round. And then two sunnah applies to this tawaf only. This tawaf, no other tawaf. And that is a ramal, which is brisk walk, shoulders thrusting forward. It's like you are not jogging, but strength. And then in the first 3 rounds, and it is from the black stone to the Yemeni corner, and that is the first one is called ramal. After that, the diba. Let me explain to you the ramal. Let's say this is the Kaaba, my table. So if I place here the black stone, so where is Maqam Ibrahim? Here, where the camera is. That's the Yemeni corner, right? Where's the Hijr? Here, that's the Hijr. True or not? Yes? Opposite to the side of, okay, that's, so what is this corner? Yemeni corner. What is this corner? Shami corner. What is this corner? Iraqi corner. Okay. Maqam Ibrahim is there, the camera. طيب. Al-Ramal is the brisk walk. You could do it even with, the women don't do it, only the men. So it's only for men. That's why it says men only. And you could do it even if you have your mother or your sister with you, because you're not going to running away from her. But you're doing a strong walk. It's fast, but at the same time, it's not running. What is the idea behind it? Where is it coming from? The idea behind it was when the Prophet ﷺ and the companions wanted to do the Umrah, and the Mecca was in the control of Quraysh in the year 6 after Hijrah, after migration. They were intercepted by the people of Quraysh in a place called Al-Hudaybiyah. And Al-Hudaybiyah is one of those places which marks the Haram. Right. There's a phone coming on and off. I'm just asking the brother, please put it on silent. Jazakallah khair. They were intercepted. They were not allowed to go inside. So they made a treaty called the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah. In that treaty, that the people of the Muslims, they will return back, not to complete their Umrah. Even though it's only about 6 miles away. Not far. They had to go back. Because they said, we don't want the Arabs to say, Quraysh said, that you have pressurized us. No, we're not going to let you have that. Go back. And in that treaty as well, that they can make the Umrah the following year. Look, they have to wait for another year. Full year. To make this Umrah. And in that, the people of Quraysh will empty the city for Mecca for 3 days. So there will be no clashes between the Muslims and non-Muslims and Quraysh, idolaters. So they will empty the city for them. So they will come and make their Umrah and then they leave. When these people of Quraysh had emptied the city, they went to the side where the Hijr, you remember the Hijr? They went to this side and they went to the mountains here. They went there, to that side. As soon as the following year came, and they did this, and the Muslims came, they started making rumors that the Muslims are weak, the Muslims, they are struck by the fever, which is known to be, people of Medina, that is known for a fever for them. They are weak. So the Prophet of Allah wanted to show that those people, wrong, and we are not vulnerable, and you cannot really harm us. We are strong, even though with this long journey, at least 4 days it took them to come. So the Prophet of Allah commanded them to this called Ramal, to show the people of Quraysh that they've got the strength. They're not really lazy and walking tired. No, strong. So that is the brisk walk. So because that they are on this side, they can only see 3 sides of the Kaaba. They cannot see this side. So Prophet of Allah made them to make brisk walk 3 rounds out of the 7. First, Quraysh can see them up to here, and then they start walking normally. They don't want to get themselves tired. Second one, and then walk normally. Third, brisk walk, and then walk normally. Then after that, walk normally. Now we don't have Quraysh, we don't have Kuffar watching us, but we're doing it. We're following the steps of the Prophet. So that's the idea of the brisk walk. Unfortunately, the brisk walk became disappearing. Who had made Umrah before? Put your hand up. Hands up. Have you ever seen people making brisk walk? Have you? Have you? Have you seen? Yes. Have you seen brisk walk? Not many people. It's very strange. I was making the brisk walk and somebody's taking the mick out of me. Skin, he doesn't know what because I'm doing the brisk walk. He's like, yeah, taking the mick. He doesn't know. Became a strange sunnah, ikhwani. And this is only in this tawaf al-qudum. The other tawaf al-fida, no. Tawaf al-wada', no. Second sunnah is called al-iddiba'. Al-iddiba' means that you are putting your garment underneath your right shoulder. He's showing that. And that is only in that tawaf. So before it is bid'ah. After it is a bid'ah. So as soon as you start the tawaf, put your hands outside and make your tawaf. And it's in the 7th round. 7 rounds. Not like the brisk walk 3 rounds and between the black stone to the Yemeni corner. No, 7 rounds. Once you finish the 7 rounds, put your hands, okay, inside and not outside, inside, so you cover your shoulder because you're going to do the prayer. And that's it. So you'll find so many people, they're putting right shoulder outside in the airport, everywhere. So gently tell these people, you're right, wrong, akhi. It's only when you make the tawaf. If he doesn't listen to you, leave him. What can you do? Right, that's the tawaf, ikhwani. That's the starting line. So you make the tawaf in this way. Right, that's the tawaf. Not the other way around. So it is what? Anti-clockwise, yeah? Well, inshallah, you're not going to make a mistake with this. طيب. A state of wudu is required. Any tawaf that you make, you have to be in a state of wudu. A menstruating woman does not make the tawaf until she becomes clean. All kinds of tawaf, including optional tawaf, consist of 7 circuits around the Kaaba, followed by 2 rak'ah behind the maqam. So if you want to make it later on, tawaf voluntary. You can't make 3 rounds, and no, it's to be 7 rounds, and it's to make 2 rak'ah after that. That's called tawaf, voluntary tawaf. So there's no such thing, I'm going to make 1 rotation. No, 7 rotations. The Kaaba should be on your left, as we said. Do not do tawaf with your back or right to the Kaaba. Don't go backwards. Tawaf shall be performed within the boundaries of Al-Masjid Al-Haram. I'm saying this because some people make tawaf around the markets and they think making tawaf. No, akhi. Around the Kaaba. Tawaf, touch the Yemeni corner if you can, and when you're making it the first time, don't do that. Because touching the Yemeni corner will take sins out. But if you can't touch it, you can't do like the black stone and make a gesture to it. Only to the black stone, the gesture. Okay. Do not touch the Shami corner or the Iraqi corner. Do you know why? But they're not corners. Remember? They're not corners. They're not the actual corners built by Ibrahim as salam. This is the Hijr. But the Hijr is not actual corners. When you are between Yemeni corner and black stone, there's a dua, which is the ayah. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً فِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Between this and this. As for the rest, you could say whatever you like. Read Fatiha, read Quran, read. There is no such thing, dua of the first circuit, dua of the second circuit. That's not correct. Don't listen to these people give you. طيب. So there's no particular dhikr or tawaf. You may read Quran or anything. Do not follow these dua books. Make dua by yourself. Do not do it in shouting groups. I call them these shouting groups. They are really annoying. They're really shouting. I keep away from them because I can't. They say my adhkar. I forget my surah. Because they're shouting. And they have one person in the front. Rabbana, Rabbana, Atina, Atina, Velodia, Adunya. Like that. One of them, he doesn't know the Arabic. He just could read the Arabic. And his booklets, some of the du'as are long. So at the end, to continue, it says, turn the page over. اقلب الصفحة. ربنا ربنا اقلب الصفحة اقلب الصفحة. So Because he doesn't know what he's saying, because he's reading everything there. Turn the page over, turn the page over. Wallah, this is not a joke. This is the people. They don't know what they're saying. So if this Imam was saying, oh Lord, give me a wife, they would say, give me a wife. If he knows Arabic, they don't know Arabic. Allah al-Mustan. Do not wipe the walls. Some people, they just wipe and wax, wipe. They go always wiping the whole Kaaba. That's not right. Continue the tawaf without interruption unless it is necessary, like, for example, wudu, the obligatory prayer, the iqam of the salah. When it is time for the salah, stop your tawaf, join the salah in your place, and then resume the tawaf where you left it. If you need to go to the toilet, then go to the toilet, make the wudu, and come back and resume where you left it. You don't have to do the circuit again. So half circuit, half round, do it from the half round, from where you left it. In case of doubt, how many circuits you have done? 5 or 4, 5 or 4. Well, you know that you have done 3, but you're not sure you've done the 4th one. So drop the one you're in doubt, which is the 4th one. So you've done 3, and you continue on top of that. Now, if you had any doubts after you finish, forget about them, because this is shaitan telling you. That's why I said to you, bring those little counters to count your tawaf. Something called al-multazam, ya akhwani. Al-multazam, which is, we call it the crying place. This is where a person, you could do it without the tawaf. I don't advise you to do it while you're making the tawaf. You could do it later on. You just come to the multazam. And this is a place between the door and the black stone here. But people, they hook themselves to that door. Let them hook themselves, because they're ignorant. They're giving you more space. Those are the people who know. So you don't have to be touching the wall. So you could just, these people, these are learned people. Just stand there. You're supposed to put like this, but you can't. This area is congested all the time. So if you stay here and you just stand before the wall. Don't do like this. People think, oh, you are crazy. Like, there's no wall there. But look at the wall, and this is where the tears comes. They call it العبرات, الدموع, tears in that area. Okay, that's called al-multazam. Maqam Ibrahim, as we said before, when you finish the 7th round, so you finish the 7th round, there is no Bismillah Allahu Akbar. Bismillah Allahu Akbar is only to start the round. But when you finish the 7th, you don't make Bismillah. Bismillah Akbar is to start. You go and remember, cover your shoulder, go to the Maqam Ibrahim, this is the Maqam Ibrahim, and then say the following words. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّةً. And appoint for yourself a place of prayer on the standing place of Ibrahim. Place the maqam between you and the Kaaba. You don't have to be close to the maqam. You could pray as far as you can. If you couldn't, do it, okay, you could pray anywhere you like this. If it's not possible, you could pray anywhere, even from the other side of as close as possible you could do. But if you can't, pray wherever you can. 2 rak'ah. Okay. This is the traces of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, as seen. Zamzam. The 2 rak'ah, what do you recite? Did I say that? The 2 rak'ah, you recite what? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ and قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. 2nd rak'ah. Zamzam. After praying, go to Zamzam, pour some water on your head. You may say the dua of Ibn Abbas, which I want to tell you what it is. Then after that, do something that most of the people, they don't do. After Zamzam, you go back to the black stone. Okay, as close as possible. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. This is skipped by so many people. Right, Zamzam. This is the dua. I'm going to show you the dua. Oh yeah, the dua. This is the one. The last one. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan wasi'a wa shifa'an min kulli da'. Oh Lord, oh Allah, I ask you beneficial knowledge, abundant provision, and a cure from all diseases. Zamzam. Make sure that you drink as much as you can, and you could put in your head as well from the Zamzam. Sa'i. So we finished now. I think as Zamzam we finished it. Khalas, Sa'i. Come to the Sa'i between Safa and this is the last thing. Summary. Start from the Safa, recite the ayah, and make dhikr dua. Walk to the Marwa. On the Marwa, do the same thing as the Safa. Walk back to the Safa, complete your 7 rounds, and finish at the Marwa. But follow your steps. Let's go. This is the summary, this is the details now. When reaching the foot of the Safa, so as soon as you have finished Zamzam, so after the 7 rounds, you went to Maqam Ibrahim, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى. You pray the 2 rak'ah. Then after that, you went to Zamzam. After the Zamzam, you finish. You said, اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء. Then you go back to the black stone. This is, people skip that one. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. As close as possible. Pointing to the black stone. Then go to the Safa. When you reach the foot of the Safa, he says here, he says, إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت واعتمر فلا جناح عليه أن يطوف بهما ومن تطوع خيرا فإن الله شاكر عليم. This is only once to be said. People, you think every time they go to the Safa from the Marwa, they say the ayah. No, it's only once. That's it. Now, then say the following. نبدأ بما بدأ الله به. This is what the Prophet said. We begin with what which Allah had begun with. Then climb the Safa as much as you can. Okay? Unless you go into the second floor, there's no climbing there. Okay? And then face the Kaaba as much as you can. Then say the following du'as. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. That's 3 times. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وعلى كل شيء قدير. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. That's called once. Then you raise up your hands and then you do your own dua. Dua, 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 as much as you can. Then you put your hands down. Then you do this again. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah. And then La ilaha illallah. And then after that, you raise up your hands again. Dua, 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 dua. Put your hands down. Then you do the last one, which is this adhkar, the last time. So you're going to be doing 3 adhkar and 2 dua in the middle. Okay? Say the 3 times and make a dua in between, which is 2 times. Right. طيب. Now we're going down from the Safa, descending to the Marwa. You may walk, so you will walk until you reach the green signpost. It's the green, can you see that one? As soon as you reach it, then you run to upon the Marwa what you did on the Tanza Safa. Let's just see. So you return to the Safa, running between the 2 green posts, and that is second lap. So going back here. So here you walk until you reach the green signpost, then run in a medium pace until you reach the next green signpost. Then you walk up to the Marwa and ascend it. Do upon the Marwa as you did upon the Safa. This forms 1 complete lap. I'm going to tell you what is the adhkar in a minute. Then you return back to ascend the Safa, running between the 2 green posts, and then that is the second lap. Then you return to the Marwa and you do the same thing. 7 laps, follow your steps. That's important, Ikhwani. So you've done it next to the wall, do it always next to the wall. You've done it in the middle, do it all at the table. Follow your steps, like our mother Hajar had done. You may make the following dua. رَبِّ اغْفِرْ وَارْحَمْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْأَعَزُّ الْأَكْرَمُ. This is the only one being reported to us. You could say anything else, but this is the one being reported to us. You could really repeat that. طيب. رَبِّ اغْفِرْ وَارْحَمْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْأَعَزُّ. Then you exit from the Marwa. Right, you finished now. Now you could go home, and before on the way, you cut your hair. For the women, the sisters, I would advise them to go home and do it in her hotel. Halq al-taqsir, shorten the shave, or shave. I would say that if you're doing Hajj and there's no time between Hajj and Umrah, trimming would be better. So you could leave hair for the Hajj. But if your hair, mashallah, going to grow up quickly, or you think there is enough time for the hair to grow, then shave. 2 shaving, inshallah. Shave for the Umrah and shave for the Hajj. Okay. So shaving is better only when there is enough time. The bald does not do anything. So there's no such thing you're going to put the blade and put it like this for nothing. No, you don't do anything. Hair has to be trimmed from all over. So if you're trimming, not from one side, one side, one side. It has to be trimming from all over the side. Okay, that's for the men. The sunnah is to start from the right and go to the left. The woman gathers her hair, shortens it from the end. So she gathers her hair like that, and from the end, she cuts a finger joint. No harm if someone, male or a female, who is still in the state of ihram to shave others who are finishing the state of ihram. So if you are in the state of ihram and you haven't cut your hair, no problem to cut the hair of somebody else. Okay? Because he wants to finish. Everything now became halal onto you. You finish your umrah and you are in a state of hil. طيب. Pitfall of sa'i, raising the hands upon the safa. I've seen people doing like this on the safa and the marwa. That's not correct. And jogging between all the safa and marwa. It's only in the green signpost. And reciting the ayah every time you go to the safa. That's not correct as well. And some people think that the lap is going and coming back. So they're doing 14 instead of 7. And reciting particular dhikr dua on each round, that's not correct. There's no such thing. That's now staying in Mecca, and we will inshallah stay in a break. Jazakumullahu khairan, barakallahu fi. Hajj after this. If you did tamattu', you completed your umrah, and now you remain in the state of hil until the 8th of Dhul Hijjah. While in Mecca, you use your time wisely and preciously, meaning that you don't really miss the jama'ah or miss to make tawaf as well voluntarily. You can make tawaf voluntarily, 7 with 2 rak'ah until the 8th. And do not forget to do the obligatory prayer in the haram, because it gets a multiple of 100,000 compared to the prayer, for example, in this masjid. And if you pray jama'ah 27 times. So even if you miss the jama'ah, don't pray it in the hotel. Pray it in the masjid of the Kaaba. You'll get the 100,000. So always don't miss the prayer. This is your opportunity. If you miss the jama'ah in the masjid al-haram, okay, we said to pray it in the haram, the multiple is only for the fard prayer. So if you are praying, for example, duha prayer, sunnah prayer, that's nothing to do with the multiple. Always take a sutra when you pray on your own. If you pray in a jama'ah, no problem, because the sutra of the imam is sutra for you. But if you're on your own, make a shield. Don't let people to cross in front of you. Type. Make optional tawaf. Better for non-Makki and non-voluntary prayer, but do not exhaust yourself. Each tawaf consists of 7 rounds followed by 2 rak'ah. As we said, keep yourself busy with salah, recitation, Quran, tawaf, dhikr of Allah. Do not neglect all other forms of ibadah, and do not walk in between praying persons and the sutra. And also, do not, when entering the masjid, do not forget to pray the 2 rak'ah of Tahiyyat al-Masjid if you intend to sit down. By the way, there's a hadith saying that the Tahiyyat al-Masjid al-Haram is 7 rounds around the Kaaba. That's not authentic hadith. It's just like as soon as you finish your Umrah, which is Tawaf al-Qudum and all of that, Masjid al-Haram becomes like other masjids. You do the same thing as in Tahiyyat al-Masjid if you want to sit down. Be aware of professional beggars. They are professional and they give you stories, and don't fall for that. طيب. Right, Al-Hijr, I'm just giving you, this is like a history background of the Hijr. And now performing multiple Umrahs while staying in Mecca before or after Hajj. Some pilgrims decide to perform multiple Umrahs sometimes in the same day. This practice has no basis in the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. But if I'm going to give you, if you finish your Umrah and your father or your mother, just your father and your mother, had died without making Umrah, then you could make Umrah on their behalf and you could go to the Masjid al-Tan'im, which is about 5 miles away. Okay? But this is for the sake of your father and your mother who hasn't done the Umrah, and they were willing to do the Umrah, but death came to them before they'd done it. Repeating the Umrah incurs hardship and causes many pilgrims to miss the fard prayer because of tiredness. Exception, as I said here, a deceased person and a sick person, fulfillment of a vow. Right, Hajj now, step by step. Bismillah. First of all, let's go about the summary. 8th of Dhul Hijjah, that's when we start. Haram and Mina. Then the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. in the 10th of the Hijjah. 9th is Arafah, Muzdalifah, 10th of the Hijjah. This is where the Hajj, rituals will be done, most of it. The Rami, the Nahar, the Halq, the Tawaf, and the Sa'i. And then the final 3 days, which is to do with the throwing the pebbles, the Rami. So this is the Hajj in summary. Okay? Last day, Tawaf al-Wada'. Let's go to the geographical locations. This is Masjid al-Haram. And this is Mina. This is Muzdalifah. And this is Arafah. This is where your Hajj is going to be. In those 4 places. So you're going to be running around between those 4 places. Let me just put my pointer here. Okay, right. So you're between these places. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's for the Hajj. طيب. This is called Aziziyah. Some people stay in Aziziyah instead of Mina because they've got their hotels here or something. That's just to show you where it is. It's not part of the Hajj package, but I'm just saying. There is the Jamarat area. This is where you throw the pebbles, which is closer to Mecca. It's in Mina, but it's not the side of Muzdalifah, the other side. So this is the Jamarat. Here it is called Masjid al-Khif. If you want to pray there while you're in Mina, 70 prophets prayed there, as the Prophet said. 70 prophets. Masjid al-Haram, Mash'ar al-Haram, I should say. Masjid al-Mash'ar al-Haram, mentioned in the Quran. And that is in Muzdalifah, where the Prophet of Allah, he had stood up there, but he said you could stay at any place in Muzdalifah and there's no problem, inshallah. Right. Then you got Masjid Namira. This is where the Khutbat Arafah comes in. This is where Khutbat Arafah. You see the person who's making khutbah on Arafah, they do Arafah, he makes it in this masjid, Masjid Namira. This masjid is where the Prophet of Allah there in that area camped before he entered Arafah. So this masjid, and then he entered Arafah. This masjid was built, so some part of it is outside Arafah and some of it is inside Arafah, as we're going to see inshallah. This is called Mount of Mercy. There's nothing special about that mountain. This is where it's got this pole, you see it? Like a pillar in the middle. Nothing important about it. Some people think that Adam alayhi salam descended down from heaven onto that mountain. No. Some people think that they need to go up in order to make their Hajj valid or to make their Hajj more rewardable. That's a bid'ah. You're incurring hardship for nothing. طيب. Okay, so this is now Masjid al-Haram. That's Jamarat. We're talking about distances now. Masjid al-Haram, and this is Masjid Namira. Look at the distances between them, so you could just see. 2.8 miles between Masjid al-Haram and Jamarat area. And until the end of Mina is about 2 miles. And about 1.4 miles between there and the Mash'ar al-Haram, which is in Muzdalifah. And then after that, about 4 miles to Arafah. Now I have walked the distance from here, from there, from Mina, all the way to Mina. It was much easier for me to go and to get the bus. I walked it. You don't feel, when you are with the people going, and they have made tunnels as well here. There's tunnels for you. Makes it easy, and tunnels as well. They've got ventilations and everything. طيب. Makkah to Mina. These are the tunnels. You can see them now. Okay. Pedestrians, tunnels. Right? This is where the tunnels come from. Right? So this is ihram for Hajj now. If you're going to be inside, most of you are going to be inside Mecca. So you're going to be doing ihram for Hajj from your house, from your hotel. So before you board onto the coach, you're going to start your ihram on the 8th of the Hijjah. Okay. You do the same thing that you did in the ihram for Umrah. But you say, instead of labbaik Allahumma bihajj, Umrah, labbaik Allahumma bihajj. So you are now, instead of, here I am, O Allah, intending Umrah, here Allah, intending Hajj. That's on the 8th of the Hijjah. To continue talbiyah until you throw the pebbles at Jamrat al-Aqaba at the 10th day of the Hajj. So you talbiyah, labbaik Allahumma labbaik, as much as you can. طيب. Recommended to add the following, just like you added in the Umrah. Allahumma hajja la riya fiya wa la sum'a. O Allah, intend Hajj without showing off. And Allahumma mahilli haythu habastani. O Allah, declare state of no ihram wherever you restrain me. Make that one, in this case you couldn't continue the Hajj, so you'll be okay. Okay, Mina. So you're going to go from your hotel in Mecca to Mina. It's about a journey of less than an hour, 45 minutes. You'll be there. It's a close distance, about 2-3 miles, but the problem is congestions and lots of people going on that day, and there'll be, detours and all of that. But anyway, within half an hour to 40 minutes, you'll be there. Go to Mina in the morning of Yawm at-Tarwiyah. It's called Yawm at-Tarwiyah. Tarwiyah means giving water. It looks like at the time of the Prophet Allah, people used to give people water on that day, called Yawm at-Tarwiyah. Pray the Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha and Fajr in their times with Qasr, shortening, but not combined. So not combining Dhuhr and Asr, Maghrib and Isha. No, each on its own. That's the way to do it. Now you could go there in Mina and you could leave your camp if you can, if you want, to go to Masjid what? Al-Khif. It's not far, about 2 miles, 1.5 miles. You walk it and then you go. It's a massive masjid. And the Imam there, who is that masjid, will do the same thing as the people. So we'll do the Dhuhr 2 rak'ah. Okay, that masjid is only open just for the Hajj season, so it's closed now. It's only open on those days. So we'll pray the same prayer as yours. Spending the night in Mina is compulsory. Use your time to gather your thoughts and prayer for the next day, which is the day of Arafah. Let's go to Masjid Al-Khif now. That's Masjid Al-Khif. It's a huge masjid. It goes all the way from here, and still there are a lot of pots which is on the right-hand side. Huge. If you can, I'm just saying, if you want to go and see, if you could pray just on your own. I mean, if you are on your own and you've never been there, don't go, because you might lose the way back. And then you miss Arafah, the whole of it. Right, that's Mina. That's Muzdalifah. And that is the way to Mecca. And that is the Aziziyah, as we said before. And this is the Jamarat area. This is the old picture of Jamarat. Now it's much better. We're going to show it to you, inshallah. Masjid Al-Khif is this one. Wadi Muhassir, the valley of Muhassir. What's so special about this valley? This is the valley where Allah Azza wa Jal sent His birds to kill the army and the elephants of those who wanted to destroy the Kaaba. Abrah al-Ashram. This is in that area. So if you knew it, you should be walking fast in that area, because it's an area of adab, area of punishment. طيب. This is the modern slaughterhouse. You're not going to see it at all. You're not going to be able to see it. طيب. This is for the people who want to slaughter there. You're not going to be slaughtered. You're going to be deputizing somebody else. So don't worry about the slaughtering. Slaughtering is going to be done on your behalf. Leaving Mina for Arafah, 9th of Dhul Hijjah, after sunrise, on the day of Arafah, after sunrise. Listen, not after dawn, after the sunrise. And you don't worry, there the people who are looking after you, supposedly, they will not let you go until after sunrise. It doesn't matter what time after sunrise. Don't panic. Even if you reach the time of Dhuhr, don't panic. Arafah is only can be attained by a few minutes, 1 minute, and that's it, you've done Arafah. So don't worry. Don't panic. Talbiyah and Tahleel, this is Arafah. This is where the mountains, the people they go to. This is the Mount of Mercy, I told you. All of those people, look how many people, percentage-wise from these people, they're wrong. All of those wrong. That means the ignorance, the amount of ignorance, you could count it here, the percentage-wise. Why do they go upstairs? I don't know. Some of them even, they put their names on that pole. He thinks it's going to be, for him in Jannah. You might break your foot, you might break his, ankle. Well, why do you want to do that? Because of ignorance again. Right. طيب. Arrive at Arafah, preferably before Dhuhr. Before Dhuhr. But it doesn't matter if you came up after Dhuhr. Even after Asr, doesn't matter. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, there is no day on which Allah frees more of his slaves from fire than the day of Arafah. He draws near, then he praises them before the angels, saying, what do they seek? Where's the Dr. Ibrahim? It's working. Jazakallah khair. طيب. Pray Dhuhr and Asr at Masjid Namira. That's if you can. I don't think you can. Pray it in your place where you are in Arafah. Combine. So remember in Mina, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, no combination. Then you pray the Fajr. There's no combination with the Fajr anyway. But in Arafah, we're going to combine between Dhuhr and Asr. Okay? Right. Preferably, that if you don't go to Masjid Namira, that we have a khatib. So a khatib will deliver within our camp, within our tent. If there was no khatib, don't worry about it. But to have a khutbah or a delivery of a khutbah to you, that's not correct. Meaning, some people, the stations of the radio, they transmit the khutbah from the main masjid to the tent. And then they pray behind the imam, which is in the tent. That's not correct, invalid prayer. You have to do your own prayer, not linked via Bluetooth or whatever Wi-Fi there. Your own prayer is inside, led by somebody there. Preferably there's somebody who stand up and give a khutbah. If we didn't give a khutbah, nobody knows about how to make khutbah. Don't worry. But the most important thing is to be led with your own prayer, not to follow the prayer via radio or TV, which is being into the Masjid of Namira. Each camp on his own with his prayer. Combine Dhuhr and Asr. Then after that, this is Masjid Namira, by the way, for those people who don't know it. This is where Prophet of Allah, he camped almost here. This is, by the way, the Qibla direction. Let me just show it to you. Namira is not part of Arafah, but part of the masjid is within the limits. So this is Masjid Namira. This is the borderline. Yes? This is the borderline. Okay. Arafah, border. Can I ask, where is Arafah? This side or that side? This is the Qibla, by the way. The right side is Arafah. So the front row of the masjids, the front rows are where? Outside Arafah. So if you happen to be, they came there, mashallah, and you booked yourself a place and you want to go there, AC and everything, mashallah, and happy, don't stay there all the time in the front rows because you're outside Arafah. You have to come in. This is in. Okay, inside Arafah. So this is outside Arafah. طيب, Arafah and outside Arafah. طيب, Dhul Hijjah, what we do, you follow the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and after Salah, move to your place in Arafah, stand facing the Qibla, raising your hands, making dua and reciting Talbiyah. You may go to the rocks under the mountains of mercy. You remember that mountain I showed you with the pillar? So you could go to the mountain, but not to climb it. At the bottom, where the rocks are, face the Qibla, make the mountain rocks behind you, and then make dua. If you're able to do that, that's very good. Bring your umbrella, because it's hot. I was never able to do it for a full day, except for once when we had, subhanallah, extreme weather, which was windy, clouds, and rain. So beautiful. Rain, and then the wind took our umbrella off. There was no umbrella with us. And the rain, and then we stayed there making dua for about 3-4 hours. Because lovely weather. Otherwise it will be extremely hot. But that's the sunnah if you want to do it. That's put your back towards the rock, to the rocks, and you face in the Qibla. So if I go back, let me just go back to the where it says show it. Okay, let me just do it here. There it is. That's it. See that? Okay. Oh, where is my? So these are the rocks here. Those are the rocks here, exactly the bottom. So this is the Qibla direction. So you put your back towards the rocks and make dua. That's the sunnah of the Prophet used to do it. But even if you could do it in your camp, no problem. Face the Qibla and make your du'as. Keep making dua. As we're going to see what is the dua, inshallah. So the Prophet ﷺ said the best thing that I and the Prophet have said in the evening of Arafah, what is that? لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Repeating that one. لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير. Okay, Arafah. That's Arafah. That's the Mount of Mercy. That's Muzdalifah. And that's Wadi Urana, Masjid Namira. If you want to walk, this is the way they walk. But you have a bus, don't worry. Now, listen to me carefully. After Arafah, I'm going to show you. So it says here, when the sun had set, you leave Arafah for Muzdalifah. Going with calmness and tranquility. Don't panic. Not jostling or pushing, Rather than whenever you find a room, then you go faster. That's if you walk, but most of you are going to go by bus. Okay, that's Muzdalifah, those are just Arafah. Make sure that you don't leave until after sunset. This is important, Ikhwani. Here, I'm putting a caution here. Some of the Hajj, what they do, the coaches arrived early. They jump before sunset. They are still in Arafah, but their intention is already they are outside Arafah. Do you understand me? They made their intention that they want to leave. So even they are physically inside Arafah, but spiritually they're not inside Arafah. So your intention to leave Arafah is when? After sunset. Don't do it, otherwise you're going to lose the day of Hajj. Because you have to, in Arafah, you have to achieve two things. Part of the day and part of the night. Part of the day, you've got it. Part of the night, just seconds. As soon as sunset, that's the night. Khalas, you've done it now. Two parts, part of the day and part of the night. Don't make your intention until you leave. So after sunset, then you leave. But don't make your intention to leave before sunset, even if you are physically inside Arafah. Now, you need to pray there, Maghrib in Muzdalifah. So here, I'm going to just put pitfalls before we say finishing, okay, the day, or fasting the day of Arafah. It's not correct. Fasting the day of Arafah, Ikhwani, is for those people who are here, not making Hajj. For you making Hajj, it's a Eid day, feast day. You're not supposed to fast it. Leaving Arafah before sunset. You know, it's called even a rukun according to Imam Malik. Imam Malik would say that your Hajj is batil. Standing outside the limits of Arafah, this will invalidate your rukun and hence will invalidate the whole of Hajj. Ascending the Mount of Mercy or facing it during dua, thinking that it is has some merits, not correct. Wasting time in sleeping or around food or idle talking, all of that. No, this is the day you don't need to waste any time. Dhikr and also dua. Right. Now we're going to go towards Muzdalifah after sunset. So when reaching Muzdalifah, you pray the Maghrib, then Isha shortening. That means the 4 will become 2. And joining the 2 prayers. You may do them without joining if you wish. No problem. But join them to make sure that you're relaxed. So joining in Arafah and joining in Muzdalifah. Now listen, ya Ikhwani. You need to pray Maghrib and Isha. And Isha time finishes by midnight. What is midnight? Midnight is the time between Maghrib and Fajr. Give you an example. What time is Maghrib these days? Let's say it's 9 o'clock. What time is Fajr these days? Let's say it's 3:30. Correct? What time is midnight? Yalla. 12:15. Well done. 12:15. That's between Fajr and between Maghrib. So it's not already necessary to be 12. Sometimes 11. If you are in the winter, midnight becomes 11 o'clock. In the winter season, it becomes 11 o'clock. So here, midnight is around about 12. It could be 10 to 12. It could be 10 past 12. In the summer, it is more than 12. If your coach in Arafah was delayed to such an extent that you are now close to midnight, pray your Maghrib and Isha where? Where? In Arafah. Don't wait. Don't you ever think that, oh, if I don't pray my Maghrib and Isha in Muzdalifah, I've finished. No. You are finished in terms of prayer-wise if you didn't pray Maghrib and Isha before midnight. So you pray Maghrib and Isha, it happens to me, see. The coach was so delayed. It was the last coach we had. So we prayed Maghrib and Isha in Arafah. Most important thing is not to make the prayer and the Isha, Maghrib and Isha after midnight. As for Muzdalifah, even if you reach Muzdalifah before Fajr, you're okay. You've got plenty of time. Okay? Maghrib and Isha has to be done. So ideally speaking, to arrive well before midnight, so you could do your Maghrib and Isha, and then you sleep. I'm telling you, you will sleep. You're so tired. You don't care about people, you don't care about tiredness, you don't care about heat. I woke up one day and I saw an old lady, she was using my legs as a pillow, wallahi. She was putting my feet as a pillow for her head. It's an old lady. And I was really waking up like this, and I had my wife next to me. People that just sleep everywhere, because the women with the men together there, they're not really separate. So you're going to be sleeping. Now, you do not pray anything between them. You may pray always witr. What is that? Witr. Pray always witr. Don't leave the witr. Muzdalifah. طيب. This is the hardest night. Pray Fajr at the beginning of its time. So Fajr straight away. With your people who are coming with you. Jama'ah. If there's no Jama'ah, you pray on your own. Pray Fajr in the beginning of its time. As soon as Fajr comes, you pray Fajr. Remember the toilets and all the facilities there, but you have to be early up. And if you find lots of people on this toilet, go and search, look around. Maybe there's another toilet which has got lots of people. Because people follow people. That's the problem. When they see a lot of people, they go to it. You go to the other one, so there's no people. And be clever. It's been permissible for the weak, the women and children to leave after half of the night has passed for the fear of crush of people. Those are the people who are women, children, or the ones who are looking after them, are with them. They don't have to spend the night in Muzdalifah. After midnight, they go towards the area of Jamarat. But they cannot throw the Jamara before sunrise. With respect to some of the opinions of the scholars. It's just, this is for them a concession so that they could go without the people crushing them, too many people. But I'm telling you, these days, things have changed. MashaAllah, Jamarat is very big. And then everything's been arranged. Once you go from Muzdalifah, after that, you go to your camp. In the camp, they will arrange you in times. They will not let all the camps to go to the Jamarat. They lock the camps. And they will say that 10 o'clock is our turn. 11 o'clock, past 10, another camp turn. Because of organizing, alhamdulillah. Plus, the Jamarat now is like runway. It's a plane can land there. Massive. And it's not one, not two, not three, not four, it's five. 5 levels. Before it was one, a long time ago, in my time. In 1992, they built another one. And we had congestion. In my time, people died because of they being pushed. And there were people crashing on this side and this side. Now, there's no incidents. Because MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, they got AC. Even on the area leading to they call it shaitan. It's pebbles, by the way, there's not shaitan there. Shaitan will not going to be happy with this AC or something. People think, they're giving AC for the shaitan here. You're going throwing the Jamarat. Iblis is not there waiting for you to throw him. Okay? Iblis will be there to divert you from the sunnah of the Prophet of Allah, as we see. Right. Now, some people busy themselves in collecting pebbles. No, akhi, pebbles you collect them when you go to the Jamarat, not in the Muzdalifah. Right. When you pray the Fajr, you go to the Mash'al al-Haram if you can. Most of the people can't in your camp. Don't worry. Just start making dua, tahleel, dua, until the sky becomes very bright. Not sunrise. Then you leave to Mina before sunrise calmly while reciting Talbiyah. Now from Muzdalifah to the camp, most of the time you walk it. Some people, they go by bus. Some people, they don't have the coach. It's not really far. Because as Europeans, we are at the end of the camp, end of Mina. So we're close to Muzdalifah. It's only about 15 minutes, we will be in your camp. Walk. When you come, if possible, to the river, Valley of Muhassir, if you're walking, you hurry. Remember, it's an area of what? Punishment. This is Muzdalifah. This is Mina. This is Arafah. Do you know what is Wadi Muhassir? Anybody? The Mash'ar al-Haram. Where is Muhassir? Between here. Yes, correct. Between Muzdalifah and Mina. There. Actually, we are, when our camps is close to that one. This is the Mash'ar al-Haram. This is Wadi Muhassir. Like we have just put our dot. Okay. People walk, most of them. Pitfalls. Delaying the Maghrib and Isha until after middle of the night. Don't do that, as we said. Spending the night outside the limits of Muzdalifah. Don't do that. Thinking that the pebbles have to be collected from Muzdalifah. You could collect them. Better to collect them while you are in Mina, heading towards the Jamarat. And you'll find plenty of them. Leaving Muzdalifah before Fajr for fear of the crowd. No, you're not allowed to do that. It's not, no permission for that. Unless you have from the old people. Saying in Muzdalifah until, staying in Muzdalifah until after sunrise. Not correct. You move before sunrise. Right. This is now the 10th day of the Hijjah, which you're going to do most of your Hajj rituals. You arrive at Mina in the morning of the 10th of the Hijjah. This is the busiest days of Hajj. You will be doing the following: stone, sacrifice, shave, tawaf ifada, sa'i. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to make you relax now. That sa'i al-ifada, if you have done your sa'i in tawaf al-qudum, this becomes sa'i not compulsory, becomes recommended. And I'm telling you, the most difficult out of those 5 is the sa'i. Because it's so congested, so many people. So if you know it's recommended, I don't need to do it, especially if it's a hardship on you. So I'll just do my tawaf without the sa'i. The sunnah is to perform the above in the mentioned order, but no harm to do them in any order. Listen, to do even the sa'i before the ifada, before the tawaf. In this, but in the umrah, you may not do sa'i before tawaf. To tawaf, then sa'i between Safa and Marwa. But this you can. You can even do sa'i before tawaf, as we said, but not in tawaf al-qudum. طيب. Sequence of manasik al-hajj, which is in the hadith. Now this is the jamarat. Throwing the jamarat. The wisdom behind throwing the jamarat is to follow the sunnah of the Prophet, which is the sunnah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim, he had 3 shaitans coming to him. Or the shaitan came to him in 3 places in that area. And he threw him. But the shaitan did not come to the Prophet and he threw him. He did follow the sunnah of what? Ibrahim. Shaitan's not going to come to me as well. Come on, throw me, Mr. Muslim. No, he's not going to come. But you're going to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right. Stone jamarat aqaba only on this day with 7 small pebbles slightly bigger than the chickpea. Now remember, this is after sunrise. Now how long after sunrise? Don't worry. You could do it dhuhr, you could do it asr. But you should do it before Maghrib. If you couldn't, that's something else, no problem. But preferably before Maghrib, before sunset. So you've got plenty of time. This is the pebble that you want to throw with. Okay, that's the pebbles. They're not rocks. They're not shoes or umbrellas. Stand facing the jamarat, making Mecca on your left and Mina on your right. So when you throw this jamara, it's called the jamarat al-aqaba. This is the big one. In size-wise, you go look all of them the same. But they call it jamra al-sughra, al-wusta, al-kubra. So this jamra, you throw it in such a way that you're facing the jamra. On your right is Mina, and on your left, the direction of the Kaaba. That's the way to do it. So not you don't do it from this side, you don't do it from this side, nor from this side, from one side. This is the only jamra you throw it from this side. The other ones, you can throw them from anywhere you like. But this one, from this side. طيب, saying takbir, Allahu Akbar, while throwing each stone. So, Allahu Akbar. Okay, with each stone. The stone has to fall into the circle. Otherwise, repeat it. So you're throwing, if you throw to the wall, and the wall knocked the wall, they made it easy and went inside, which is most likely going to go inside, no problem. But if you are a cricket player, mashallah, boom, into the wall and boom, bounce back outside the circle, you have to repeat it. Okay? Now, طيب. It is not conditioned, nor it's sunnah, to intentionally hit the middle post. You may throw with used stones. Let's say you've got used stones and people have used them. Don't say, oh, they've been used, I can't use them. No, you could use them. See, they're on the floor to you. You've seen some people that throw some stones, they have used them and they were bounced out, take them. And if you are inside the circle, you could just put your hand there and put some, take from stones from it. No problem, inshallah. Don't worry. They don't have to be first hand. It could be second hand. It doesn't matter. طيب. Throwing the jamarat, you cease reciting talbiyah after throwing the last stone. Khalas, talbiyah is finished now. You cannot perform the stoning until after sunrise, and you may delay it afternoon even up to sunset if you find difficulty in doing it before noon. When you have stoned the jamara, everything becomes lawful for you again, except intercourse. So you may wear your clothes and use your perfume. This is called at-tahallul al-asghar, partial freedom, small tahallul. If you remember when we said that somebody intercoursed before small tahallul, his hajj is valid. But after first tahallul and before second, then he has to sacrifice a sheep, but his hajj is valid. طيب. So after this, I could take off my clothes of ihram. Alhamdulillah. I could perfume, I could have a shower, I could do whatever I like. But I can't do what? Intercourse. It's called first tahallul. طيب. But you need to make tawaf al-ifada before sunset, otherwise you have to go into ihram state after sunset. This is controversial. But this is what the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, regardless. It's controversial. You might not find people that really agree with this. If you did not do this tawaf al-ifada on that day in the haram, okay, before sunset, before maghrib, then if it's after maghrib, you put your clothes of ihram and then you do it. You're going to go back instead of ihram as the Prophet Allah had said. But slaughtering, I'm going to skip that because you've already deputized somebody, you paid your money, and they will make the sacrificial for you. Right. The shaving, exactly we did same thing in the Umrah, so everything is there exactly as we have said before. Shaving from the right, everything is the same as the Umrah. طيب. Tawaf al-ifada. We're going to go to the Tawaf al-ifada. You go now, that day to Mecca. I went with my wife walking all the way from Mina to Mecca because there was no transport. And then another year I went and we found transport. So it depends. But through the tunnels is a good walk. Right. Make tawaf al-ifada in the same way. Remember, there is no brisk walk, there is no iddiba' exposing your right shoulder. Pray 2 rak'ah behind the maqam, if possible, or anywhere in the Masjid al-Haram. If you didn't do this tawaf on this day before sunset, then you need to return to your ihram state and put your ihram clothes as we have said. If the menses of a woman did not stop where she must leave with her group and she cannot stay behind, then she should arrange to stay behind with her mahram. Some scholars, they say, well, she could just keep her blood in check even instead of and that's the saying of Shaykh al-Islam Taymiyyah, but we don't have a proof. Imagine that her had a leg broken. She had to stay there in the hospital. So her mahram would stay with her until she finishes her menses and then she finishes her state of Hajj. طيب. Sa'i. Then you do the sa'i between the Safa and Marwa. Remember, this is not obligatory if you have done your sa'i in tamattu'. Sa'i the same thing as before. But remember, now you could do your sa'i with what? With ihram or no ihram clothes? No ihram clothes. Unless you did it after Maghrib. No ihram clothes. طيب. All restrictions of ihram are lifted. Drink from Zamzam. Return to Mina. In Mina, you're going to spend those days, either 2 days or 3 days. It depends upon what you want. So stay in Mina for the days of Tashriq. It's preferably to stay in Mina during these days than going to Mecca. This is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Most scholars consider the staying in Mina as compulsory. You may go to Mecca at night and make tawaf if you wish. And then return to Mina, to sleep in Mina. So you could go during the night. We used to go every night, make tawaf and come back. But it's going to cost a lot of money, by the way. To go to Mecca, maybe cheaper rather than go from Mecca back. طيب. On those days, following day, after Dhuhr, after Zawal, it's called Dhuhr time, you throw the 3 jamarat. So they've got 21 stones now, not 7. Each one 7, 7, 7. So after the first jamarat, move forward. So when you throw the first jamarat from any direction, 7 jamarat, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Then you move forward. Then face the Qibla and stay for a long time, as much as you can, until those policemen, the army, are going to go forward a bit, and then make dua. Let them just go make dua. They're going to keep because they want to make the people push forward. They don't make congestion. So if you see the policeman is pushing other people, go to the other side and just do it. So you're going forward. So from the first jamara, you go to the second jamara. In the middle between there, stop as much as you can, make dua. Make as much as dua. I'm talking about 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes dua. Go to the second jamara and move forward, but to the left. Not forward to the third jamara like that. You go to the left. And here you have more space. Even go all to the end of the bridge to the left. And find yourself a pillar or something, hide yourself behind it and keep dua until the police comes in, and then you move to another one. Okay? You move, but you move a bit and then you make dua. They know that you have to make a dua, but you have to know that these people, they have to make sure that the people, they're not going to be, having a stampede. After the last Jamrah, move forward and do not stop. So the third one, remember how you throw it. Mecca, the left. Mina is on the right. This is the only one you throw it from this direction. The other one's from any direction. Throw it and you move. There's no stoppage, there's no dua. You may leave Mina before sunset if you wish, after you perform the Rami on the 12th. So you finish now the 10th Yawm al-Eid and the 11th and the 12th. Okay? And that has to after you perform the Rami on the 12th and before sunset. But if you stayed until sunset, you have to stay for the following day, which is the third day. When Allah فَمَنْ تَعَجَّلَ فِي يَوْمَيْنِ. طيب. Pitfalls. Performing the Rami during the days of Tashriq before Zawal. No, the days of Tashriq after Zawal, after Dhuhr. Throwing the pebbles all at once, 7 pebbles, Allahu Akbar. It doesn't work, it has to be one after the other. Thinking that the pebbles has to hit the post or the wall, that's not correct. It has to fall into the circle, that's all it is. Putting the pebbles into the circle without casting. You can't just say, you are next to it, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. No, it doesn't work. So it's not just going into the circle, it has to be thrown, it has to be casted. Can't just drop it like this, it doesn't work. Casting more than 7 pebbles, no 7. Pushing and shoving, do not harm people. Throwing objects other than the small pebbles, like shoes, sticks, umbrellas, large rocks. This is what the shaitan will laugh at you. Making tawkeel, deputizing somebody to throw without a valid reason. Valid reason is illness. But you're not ill. Why are you going? It's too much for me to go there. Can you throw on my behalf? It's not going to work. You are invalidating a compulsory act. Pitfalls also, spending the days of Mina and their nights outside Mina. You're violating a compulsory. Some pilgrims go to Mecca to perform Tawaf al-Wada' and return to Mina to do the Rami, mashallah. So they want to finish the farewell Tawaf before they finish the pebbles. No. Tawaf al-Wada' comes at the last, after you finish all your rituals. Leaving Mina before the 12th of Dhul Hijjah. No, you have to leave 12th of Dhul Hijjah, that's the minimum. Okay. The old Jamarat Ikhwani, I have seen that one, wallahi, subhanallah. Look at this. There's some people throwing from here. How can he reach the circuit? He's going to hit so many heads before he reaches the circuit. No, look, there's some people throwing from here, wallah. I was hit so many times in that time, in those days. This is the old one. So they made this pillar, they think the shaitan is there, is crucified there. This is the old Jamarat, like this, scary. But now this is a new one. Look, it's a big wall. So when you hit the middle post, this one, it's gonna 99.9% is gonna fall in the circuit. I don't think it's gonna bounce back. Because the circuit around it is, the hawd is big, alhamdulillah. طيب, this is all the Jamarat, Ikhwani. Can you see them? All Jamarat. These are the old Jamarat, look. Subhanallah. This is one floor, 2 floors, and that's it. This is where the people had congestion and fallen from the bridges and died. This is the new ones now, look. See, you're going from here, climbing up, and you're going inside. And you're throwing the Jamarat. It's amazing the way they've done it. It's like a runway. طيب, Jamarat is here. 1, 2, 3. This is to Mecca. This is the old Jamarat 1953. It amazes me that there's a Coca-Cola sign. Can you see here? Coca-Cola. 1953, there was Coca-Cola in there. Allah al-Musta'an. طيب. This is flood. Okay. Now you're going to find these signs, by the way, indicating the beginning of Mina and the end of Mina. So this one, you see an arrow. Can you see the arrow? You'll find another one there, next to there, following there in that area, another one. So in this side, Mina ends here. And the other side is going to be what? Mina starts here. Well done. Do you understand that? On the other side. So now the camera is inside or outside? Inside Mina. Correct. Right, last day. Prophet ﷺ, he said, none of you should depart until he makes the last act, which is tawaf. And that is tawaf al-wada'. It's only applicable to Hajj, not Umrah. You have a controversial. Some of you said Umrah with tawaf al-wada'. There's no proof. Only in Hajj. Farewell tawaf, is an obligatory act on everyone except a woman who has menses. She doesn't have to make tawaf al-wada. So she finished tawaf al-ifada and then she menstruated. She doesn't have to wait for tawaf al-wada. She could just go. People living in Mecca, they do not do tawaf, the farewell, because they're living in Mecca. There's no farewell for them. They are next to the Kaaba. If the menses woman stopped before she had left, then she may do farewell tawaf. So if the menses of women stopped before she had left, then she may do tawaf al-wada. When you finish the tawaf, you leave the masjid walking normally, not to walk backwards, as I've seen people doing backward. They go bye-bye, Kaaba. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ used to carry zamzam. So you could use zamzam or drink zamzam as well, inshallah. طيب. So this is the summary, Hajj summary. Ihram, and then miqat, then Mina, and then to Arafah, and then back to Muzdalifah, and then to Mina, and that is from Mina you go to Mecca, and then back to Mina for the 3 days, and then Mecca on the last day. Then after that, you go home. Hajj finished. طيب. Pillars of the Hajj: Ihram, standing in Arafah, Tawaf al-Ifada, spending the night of Muzdalifah, praying Fajr of Muzdalifah. This is your first sight vision from both sides anyway. So this is, you have to do it. Otherwise, it's going to be completely demolished. Your Hajj is not valid. Right. Obligation: Ihram, Miqat, standing in Arafah, stay overnight in Mina, and stoning the Jamarat, shaving or cutting, and lastly Tawaf al-Wada'. The Medina is not part of the Hajj. So up to here, alhamdulillah, we have finished the Hajj rituals. If you want me to go to the Medina etiquette quickly, put your hands up. Okay. Visiting the Medina, it's not part of the Hajj. Same thing, Haram, Medina is a Haram just like Mecca is a Haram. Prophet ﷺ, he said that the Iman goes into the Medina just like the snake goes into this hole. That means the Iman is always there. Okay, right. So the angels as well, just like Mecca, they have on each mountain, they're raising up, they have swords, they will not let the Dajjal to go inside it. It's a land of revelation. It has Masjid al-Nabawi, Quba, Al-Rawda, Uhud, Baqi' al-Gharqad. So these are the only areas you could say that they are areas which are to be interested in. Masjid al-Nabawi, Al-Rawda, Masjid Quba, Uhud, Baqi' al-Gharqad, and Uhud martyrs. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us through his messenger that he made a dua to make Medina as dear to us as Mecca. طيب. This is the Medina, this is the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ. This is towards the Qibla, the green dome, which is not from the Prophet ﷺ, by the way. طيب. This is Baqi' al-Gharqad there. This is Baqi' al-Gharqad, ikhwani. That's Baqi' al-Gharqad. This is where the cemetery. Okay, right. And this is market areas. طيب. Religious places to be visited: Masjid of the Prophet, Al-Rawda, the grave of the Prophet, Baqi' al-Gharqad, the Masjid Quba, Uhud martyrs. It is neither an obligation nor a condition for Hajj to visit the Prophet's mosque or his grave. طيب. Masjid Quba, the Prophet ﷺ used to go there once a week, and used to go on the Sabt, Saturday. You could go at any time. And he said that if you go there after making wudu, it's like performing a umrah. So if you go to Masjid Quba to pray, there are 2 rak'ah, it's like performing a umrah. Masjid Quba is located about 2.3 miles from the Prophet ﷺ, and it's located in the south. It's towards when you go to Kaaba, to Mecca. طيب. Salah in the Masjid of the Prophet ﷺ is 1,000. Remember Haram of Mecca, 100,000. طيب. Masjid al-Aqsa, by the way, 250. Salah in the expansions of the masjid has the same merit as Salah in the original masjid. So if you pray here in the expansions, those, it's exactly the same as inside, because maybe there's a lot of people inside. Don't worry. This is the Rawda, Al-Rawda al-Sharifa. Now, Al-Rawda al-Sharifa, I have new pictures for that. So let me just go to the new pictures for this. Yes. Let's see. Okay. Yep, I've got this one. Right, so let's just go to this one, inshallah. Yep, this is the Masjid Quba, the new one. Right, this is the Rawdah, the new one. Okay. Written by Abu Hurairah, the Prophet ﷺ, he said it's like a piece of Jannah between the pulpit of the Prophet and the house of the Prophet ﷺ. This is a Rawdah. This is called Rawdah. Now you have to book for it. Rawdah is always full. Okay, well, now you have to book it. This is the Rawdah, is inside the sketch of it. Let me just make the arrows laser, please. Right. Please watch. So this is the Rawdah, and those are the pillars here. Each pillar's got a name. This is the Mihrab, number 7, the Mihrab of the Prophet ﷺ. There was no Mihrab for him, but this is where the Prophet used to, the Prophet ﷺ used to pray here. They made a Mihrab for it. Right, okay. So this is the room of Aisha where the Prophet of Allah is buried. Here the Prophet of Allah's grave, and here is Abu Bakr, and here is Umar radiallahu anhu. Okay. So this is the Rawdah. That's how many meters it is. It shows you 22 by 15. Right, let's just go. Here, Ahl al-Suffa. Well, you don't find it. There's no Ahl al-Suffa now. Right, this is the doors outside. See those 3 doors? 1, 2, 3. These are the one who leads to the one before that. Let me just go before so you can just see. So the 1, 2, 3 is here in this area. Here. So you could see the graves are up. It's opposite of the 3 graves. So let's go. So this is in line with the Prophet of Allah's grave. This one is in line with the Abu Bakr. This one is in line with Umar. That's why when you make the salutation, first time only when you come, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah, peace be upon you, Messenger of Allah. Then you move, Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Bakr, ya Khalifata Rasulullah, Assalamu alaikum ya Umar, ya Khalifata Rasulullah. That's it. There's no dua, there's nothing. So these are the 3 graves. طيب. Visiting the graves, it says here, the etiquette of entering. And I think this was done before now, the organizing of this. Walk respectfully. When you get in the front, first big hole. Okay, this one. Move to the next one, Abu Bakr, and the 3rd one for Umar. طيب. Visit the grave of the Prophet ﷺ and say your salam to him, but do not repeat the visit except if you came from a journey, travel. As there is a warning from the Prophet ﷺ is not to take the grave as a Eid, means as something that to be visited all the time. طيب. Anyone can send salam to the Prophet from anywhere. So if you want to send salam, you can say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Some people, when you go to Hajj, they will say to you, can you carry my salam to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? You know, my answer is always like this. You know, I allow 20 kilos and I think I'm overweight. I can't carry your salam. He will laugh. And I will say to him, brother, your salam reaches the Prophet faster than me to go and carry it for you. And you have to know as well how the salam is carried is by angels. So I am here, and the person who is next to the grave, when they say Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, my salam will be carried by an angel to give to the Prophet. The one who's next to the grave also is going to have an angel to carry it there. It's not because it's close, oh, we can hear it faster than. No, it's the same mechanism. طيب, al-Baqi', and you say, Assalamu alaikum ahl al-diyar min al-mu'minina wal-muslimin wa inna insha'Allah bikum lahiqun. Nas'alullah lana wa lakum al-afiyah. I'm finished now. That's Baqi' al-Gharqad. And that's the martyrs of Uhud. There. Here, there are 72 companions who died. Here you find Asadullah, Hamza, and Mus'ab ibn Ubayr. Their 2 graves are next to each other, shown, apart from the other graves. Here, 70 of the companions have been martyrs. طيب. This is Medina from the side of the Qibla, and that's the Baqi' al-Qarqad. That's the graveyard. I would urge you to go to see how the person to be buried, but you have to be quick. As soon as the burial, so the prayer comes from here, they take the person who is on dead, they carry him straight away, fast, and they come to the entry here, and then after 5 minutes they lock the doors and the gates, so nobody can go inside. طيب. Qibla. I think we have finished now, alhamdulillah. That's the mountains of Uhud at the back. خلاص. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. You have any questions? I think we do have time. No done. Prayer, isn't it? Okay. So extend it for 5 seconds. If you have any question, important question, Ikhwani, Dr. Rahim, can we delay for 10 minutes? Yeah. Ikhwani, while you prepare your questions, I'm going to show you how you put your ihram clothes. That's for the men, of course. Right, ihram clothes. Very simple. Got 2 pieces, equivalent to each other. I don't need any even pen. 1 pen is enough for me. For the bottom part, you don't need a pen. Right, so I'd like to have somebody to help me. Close to my mouth. First of all, as men, I would urge you to lubricate. Use Vaseline or anything like this, because with the heat, you might have some sort of skin rubbing against skin and it's going to be painful. So when you put it, spread your feet just a bit. This makes you this distance to walk because you don't want to be tight. See? So spread your feet like this, and then simple. You don't need anybody to help you, just yourself, right? And mine, mashallah, is really huge. Okay, so first part, make sure that this wraps the front part. So you got one here. Okay, second, and then after that, wrap it all the way. And there, you can see, you just put that little knot, just to hold it. And then after that, this is where it comes. You're going to be doing all the way like this, like that, together. So you finish one wrap, go to the second wrap. Okay, now I could fight with it. Nobody can take it away from me. That's it. It doesn't fall, nothing. And it's comfortable for me to walk because I have stretched my foot. Okay, it's comfortable. This is the first part. Second part. Okay, second part, Ikhwani. I think I need to put the camera as well. Good to see. Yeah. Second part is as well like that. Okay. Now, as I said, 2 pen would be good. 1 pen is enough, but 2 pen, the best. Make sure that they're lined up like that. Now you put this underneath here and wrap it there, and then you put a pen here to hold this area. Now this is enough, but if you want to be nice and free, you could wrap this here and put a second pen. Now if I want to go to make the iddiba', which is showing my right shoulder, leave this a bit more gap, so you don't have to take the pen out, like that. Okay? And then that's your right. If you want to put it inside, with the pen inside, you don't have to take the pen. Imagine there's a pen, okay? Put it inside, like that. Simple. Any question, Ikhwani? تفضلوا. يلا يا عماد. You're far. Give him a microphone, Habibi. Give him a microphone. The second microphone. What is it? Yeah. تفضل.
You mentioned when you touch the Yemeni corner and the black stone corner, your sins are forgiven. Do you have to touch both corners or just one?
It is better to touch to both corners, because each corner does not rely upon another corner. So this one removes sins and the other one removes sins. But the difference between the Rukn al-Yaman and the black stone, and by the way, both of them are called Rukn al-Yaman. Both of them are called Yemen because they were facing to Yemen. But to distinguish, they said this is Yaman and this is black stone. Is that the difference is that when you don't touch the Rukn al-Yaman, I cannot make a gesture towards it. So I will rub it like this, and we rub it as well with the right hand side, not with two hands, like this. That's how you wipe it, the Rukn al-Yaman. With the black stone, it's like a stone there, okay? You put your hands on it, or you could kiss. So you rub, kiss hands. So you take, touch it, kiss, or you could make prostration on it, and that's the thing that I would not recommend you to go because people they might push your head and bang it or something. But if you have somebody to protect you, quickly prostrate on it, inshallah. Yeah, but there's no such thing to make a kiss like this. Doesn't allowed. There's no kiss like that. Has to kiss them. So you could kiss it, or you could kiss your hand. No. So kissing and prostration, yes. Sorry? Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. What if during Umrah you have your wife or your sister and she goes through those menses? What's she gonna do? Is she going to postpone her?
I have said that if you are having a sister or a mother, she's on a menses, she resumes everything. She goes with you in the miqat. She says, Labbaik Allahumma bi umrah. She does her talbiyah, everything the same. It's only tawaf, she can't do it.
At what point she can do that, tawaf, if she doesn't have enough time?
Once she has finished her menses, she could make the tawaf. Aisha radiallahu anha, she had menstruated just before going into Mecca in a place called Sarif. And she was crying. Prophet, what's wrong? You've been struck with the women's stuff? Yes, Messenger. She said, don't worry. Do like the Hajj does, except for tawaf and salah. So she resumed with the Prophet of Allah, and she made her ihram, Labbaik Allahumma bi umrah, and she went, Labbaik Allahumma bi hajj, and she went. On the day of the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, she got cleansed. She could do Arafah, no problem. But in that day she was cleansed, so she started now she did her Tawaf al-Ifadah. So she did not do Tawaf al-Qudum. That means she missed her Umrah. But she was in state of Ihram. She did her Tawaf then after that she finished the Hajj and everything, she was crying. She said, Messenger of all of them go back with Hajj and Umrah. And she missed her Umrah. And I make only Hajj. That means everybody, that means the other co-wives. All of them do Hajj and Umrah. And I'm Prophet of Allah said, go on, Ya Allah Abdul Rahman, take her with you, Masjid al-Tan'im. She made the Umrah, but not Abdul Rahman, her brother. Because it's understood only for this particular thing. Because if it was allowed to do this, all the companions will do it. You know why? Because it's a big journey to go back to the Medina. It's an opportunity to increase the Umrah again, do another Umrah. None of them did that. Only Aisha, her case, because she was menstruating, couldn't do Umrah, she could do Umrah in this way. Now.
What if the menses goes right through the days of Hajj and the person has to leave Mecca to go somewhere else and they're still in a state
You mean the menses?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. Let's say that she menstruated before Tawaf al-Ifadah, which is on the 10th day. She needed the 7th day or 10 days. She could still do it, even after the days of the Hajj. But she will be in state of Ihram. As long as she did what? Arafah on the day of Arafah. Okay, Arafah cannot be done, can't do the day of Arafah on a different day. But Tawaf al-Ifadah could do it, you could extend it until she's cleansed. Naam.
Assalamu alaikum. We got a question from the sisters. Can a person do 3 circuits of tawaf, go back to the hotel for a valid reason, and then come back the next day to complete it?
What is that valid reason? The person gonna go to the hotel for 24 hours, 12 hours and come back? What, eat chicken or kebab? No, I don't think there is a valid reason here to do such a thing. Yeah, it have to be a reasonable break. Sick for 24 hours. That's a big sort of disconnection. So you start from the beginning. It's not really hard anyway. So it is like it has to be reasonable split or reasonable stop, not a one-day stop here like that. Now.
Ahsanallahu alaykum. During Hajj journeys, do you get extra blessings for doing other good deeds?
Is there anything about blessings like what? For the fasting we said, paying charity, sadaqah. Yeah, no problem. There's plenty. The person is encouraged to do all types of ibadat. Okay, but not to incur hardship upon himself. Don't fast the day of Arafah. Because the day of Arafah is a day for you to have full glucose. You are, mashallah, mentally there. You want to have food to make you to make dua. Okay, don't make fast. Fast is only for the ones who do not do Hajj. Naam. Anybody else? تفضل يا أخي. هاي خليك. إيه.
أحسن عليك.
تفضل.
The Tawaf al-Ifadah,
Yeah.
if somebody misses it on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, I've read that that there's two opinions of the scholars of that one opinion is that they can make it up during the Ayyam al-Tashriq, and the second opinion that they make Tawaf al-Ifadah.
Yeah.
They can make it up. There's one opinion that says that they can make it up during the Ayyam al-Tashriq. Ayyam al-Tashriq, and the second opinion said they can make up any time during Dhul Hijjah.
إخواني طواف الإفاضة is to be postponed according to the need, the necessity. So if it's menstruation, once she finishes her menstruation, she will do it. Whether it's inside the tashriq or outside the tashriq, it doesn't matter. As long as she is the necessity there. So menses, she'll do it. Illness, she will do it. Now, you're saying to me, what about if illness is like major? Something that to do with heart operation. He hasn't done that Tawaf al-Ifadah. He's done Arafah, heart operation. It took them outside the month of Dhul Hijjah. Outside the days of Tashriq is no problem, but outside the month of Dhul Hijjah, is that allowed for him after he had his operation to do his Tawaf al-Ifadah in the month of Muharram or the month of Safar, let's say 2 months in the hospital, he was in a coma? The scholars disagree. Most of the scholars they say no, it has to be done during the month of Hajj, Shawwal, Dhul Qi'dah, and Dhul Hijjah. Now,
Sheikh, when you are shaving your head, do you have to wait for the Udhiyah notification to be given to you, or can you shave your hair before that?
you could do anything during those days of the day of the 10th. You could do shaving before slaughtering, slaughtering before tawaf, tawaf before slaughtering, sa'i before even tawaf. Anything you could do that, no problem.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Can you wear an eye mask during in the state of Ihram?
Huh?
Eye mask. Can you wear an eye mask in the state of Ihram?
Yeah, no problem. For sleeping, you mean, yeah? You don't want to walk to. Yeah, eye mask, no problem. Eye mask, Ikhwan, I said before, earplugs, eye mask. The things they're not allowed to put is something made for the limb, like a hat. Okay? Yes. No problem, eye mask. Yeah, good eye mask, earplugs, no problem.
Sorry, Sheikh, one more question. Can you collect pebbles from anywhere?
You can collect pebbles from anywhere, but the sunnah is to collect them from Mina, not Muzdalifah, from the place where you are. So I don't want you to bring pebbles from Maidenhead or High Wycombe or Reading. You got pebbles from there, Mina. Naam. By the way, can we just use the microphone, because there's other sisters that are being deprived from the question, you know. What?
So you cannot maintain the sutra in Haram. People
You have
just-
to make the sutra even in Haram. The hadith of the sutra was made in the Haram.
I mean, I was.
The hadith of the Prophet, don't pray except with the sutra, it was not said outside the Haram. It was said for the people of Haram. So sutra means you pray in a place where you're going to be cut off. You don't cut off the prayer of other people. And it's very, very easy to do. But if you're praying in the middle of the path of the people, like these people who have no knowledge, they're blocking others, they're praying everywhere, it doesn't matter the gate, it doesn't matter the entrance, is it? And those people are going to expose their prayer to be cut off. Okay?
Sheikh, when I was doing the Umrah after, doing the Tawaf, and I was doing the Rakatan, there were so many people, there was hardly any place, and you can't.
No, there
you
is.
don't
See, I've
stand.
done the Hajj, I'm not going to say how many times, but so many times. But listen to me, akhi. There is, if you are a person, there is. But don't pray, as I said, in a prayer where there's congestion. Take a place, take your time. Choose a spot. And there's other ways of pushing your people away from your sutra. It is a must, akhi. Don't make it like an excuse for me. No excuse. Prophet of Allah did not let a sheep, to go past between him and the sutra, never a human being. So if a person wants, you told him not to, and he wants to pass, just go forward. Go to your sutra, let him pass from behind you. Easy. But if you're praying in the middle of everybody going this way and this way, you're going to bound to have your prayer. Go choose a corner. There's lots of corners which are clean, nice, nobody there. But you have to search. But when the person is quickly, you want to pray his prayer, that's when he's going to have his prayer being cut off many times. So, alhamdulillah, lots of people. Who made Umrah with me? Put his hands up. Umrah with me. Got one person. Did you find, what did you find? Was it lots of people for Umrah that time? You could find space everywhere to make on. He was doing sutra, mashallah. So, inshallah, learn from us. Come with me and I'll show you.
Ahsanallahu alaykum. Do women brisk walk at the green lights for sa'i?
The women, they do not, then it's not brisk walk between the green light. Green light is to run. To run. It's not, so it's running. لا يقطع الأبطح إلا شدة. Quick. Can the women do that if there is no men and there is no cameras? Is that possible? Is it possible? There's no men and no cameras. It's impossible. They shouldn't. Whereas actually this is for the women, because who's done that? This one? Hajar, it's a woman. But because of this, we don't let them to run. Now.
My question I was asking before, I was saying generally, if someone were to miss it on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, do they have to make it up during the Ayyam al-Tashriq? Or do they have to make it up any time during Dhul Hijjah?
You mean the Tawaf al-Ifada?
Yeah, and what's the dalil as well?
So Tawaf al-Ifada, you mean intentionally he did that?
I'm saying that if he missed it on the 10th.
Okay, he meant, Khwani, a person who had missed Tawaf al-Ifada on that day, for a certain reason, he couldn't do it. There was something stuck in Mina, couldn't come to Mecca. Can he do it on other days? Yes, he can. What is the proof? Because there is no proof that it has to be done on that day. Just like we can shave our head on the following day. Just like we can slaughter on the other day. Do you understand me? So there's no proof to stop him not doing this. The Prophet ﷺ, he made this is for the Hajj season. Tawaf al-Ifada, he didn't say it has to be done on that day. No. This is the most, you could say, congested day, the 10th. But to say that I cannot do it on other days, you're going to jeopardize. Because the only one who has the Prophet ﷺ emphasized is the day of Arafah. Al-Hajju, Arafah. Because Arafah cannot be postponed. Whereas the others, they can be postponed. Actually, some of the scholars, they said, if you haven't done the Tawaf al-Ifada, and you reach the end, and you have, that means the last day, and you haven't done it, you could combine it with Tawaf al-Wida'. You could make one Tawaf, which is because it's Ifada, and it's Wida' and it's same time. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said that you not to leave the Haram until you make the last action is your Tawaf. Because you made it the last Tawaf, which is Tawaf al-Ifada, is the last one, you don't need to have another one to farewell because you have done that last Tawaf. Now. طيب. Any other questions, إخواني؟ طيب مش مهمة ده بتأخر لنا عادي. فيصل تفضل. Quickly يا أخي.
If someone is going from Medina to Mecca immediately to do his Umrah, so he's not going to go to the hotel. In Medina, should he have made two recommended ghusl, one to enter the state of Ihram and one to enter the city of Mecca?
Well, so he's going to do the Ihram from Medina. He cannot do two ghusl.
Right.
The ghusl is only for the state of Ihram. Now, if you want to make another ghusl, when he goes to the hotel in Mecca, then this is the ghusl for entering Mecca, even though he had entered Mecca. But because there is no such thing that the coach or the train is going to have a stop before entering Mecca so that people can have ghusl and enter it. So you do the best. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Fear Allah as much as you can. So you go to the hotel of yours and make the ghusl for entering the Mecca, even though you have entered Mecca. The other one, please, Mas'ud. Quickly, Akhi Mas'ud.
Sheikh, are you allowed to wear a hat, an umbrella that is attached to your hat, your head?
You're not allowed to put, that's for the women, yes, they could do that, but not for the man. to have an umbrella attached to his head. You've seen them, the one attached to the head. Right, Mr. Ali.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi Shaykhana.
Salam
What's the
alaikum.
proof for the people of Makkah not to do Umrah?
So the people,
Of Makkah.
there's no Umrah on the Makkiyin. It's tawaf, only
I'm
tawaf.
looking for the proof here.
Tawaf, only
What
tawaf.
we do
Unless they left, and then they wanted to go back, they could go back with Umrah. They have left, but not for the intention of Umrah. Like the Prophet of Allah was in Mecca, and then he went to Ja'arrana, and then for the Hunayn and dividing the booty. Then when he came back from the Ja'arrana, he made his Umrah. But he did not go with the intention of Umrah before he left to Ja'arrana. فضل يا تسنيم.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. It's Dr. Abdul Khalid.
حياك
My
الله.
wife logs in, yeah. So, see, a question is that one, if you lose your wudu during your tawaf, you go and do it and then you restart in the number. Say, for example, I lost it in the fourth sort of thing. So I just start from 4 and finish the remaining 3, or you need to do right from 1?
So this person, he had lost his wudu and he wanted to go and make wudu after he done, let's say, 3 circuits, yes?
Yeah.
And then he went back and he forgot how many circuits he's done?
No. You should be just continue from the third one.
Yes, he continues not from the third one, he continues from the spot. Let's say he done 3 1/4 or 3 1/2. He starts from the half. He doesn't have to start the third one from the beginning.
Okay, that's fine.
We don't lose anything from it. You just make wudu and go to the spot where you left it and continue from there. You don't have to start from the second from the beginning.
And
Okay?
if it was during your sa'i, you don't need to do anything. Yeah.
No. Sa'i, sorry? What did you say? Sa'i what? What did you say?
If you lose your wudu during your sa'i,
Yeah.
then you don't need to go for another.
Again, if you should ask me, you don't say that because I almost said to you, yes. That's a controversial, but we believe the sa'i is like the tawaf because Allah says, فَلْيَطَّوَّفَ بِهِمَا. He made him tawaf, and the Prophet Allah in the hadith made him tawaf. And we believe just like the rotation around the Kaaba is tawaf, we believe the sa'i is tawaf, so it needs wudu. So be on the safe side and go from the controversial. The one who makes wudu,
Go for wudu and then come.
that's it, better, inshallah. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. So there's another question, but it depends upon the admin. Here. Yeah? One last question he asked. Ahmad Sharif. He asked a question. خلاص. He has so many questions.
Jazakallahu khairan, Shaykhana al-Kareem. When you say Allahu Akbar 7 times while making tawaf, do you say Bismillah every time, Shaykh?
Yes, every time you say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. For tawaf. You mean for the Hajar, black stone, yes?
Yes, Shaykh.
Yeah, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاك الله خيرا.